Fox News.
I think that the president is, I would say, frustrated with the process.
White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders says more questions are raised about a meeting between the president's eldest son and a Russian lawyer last summer. The president releasing a statement calling Donald Trump Jr. a high-quality person, while the White House refers any further questions to attorneys after Donald Trump Jr. himself released emails. Some Democrats say those emails could be a turning point in the Russia investigation. Fox's Jared Halpern, live on Capitol Hill.
Hillary Clinton's former running mate, Virginia Democratic Senator Tim Kaine, says emails released by Donald Trump Jr. moved the investigation into Russian meddling beyond obstruction of justice.
This is moving into perjury, false statements, and even into potentially treason.
And the president's eldest son used Twitter to release an email exchange with a music publicist promising information that could incriminate Clinton. The publicist described the information as sensitive and part of Russia and its government's support for Mr. Trump. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. Republican Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn says constituents are tired of what-ifs.
Let's focus on tax reform. Let's focus on jobs, and getting the economy rolling.
Meantime, the Senate's August recess is now delayed by 2 weeks for more time to work on a lengthy agenda, including a revised health care bill. A White House official just confirming to Fox News that President Trump will now not visit Great Britain as originally planned this year. The official says that's being delayed until next year, citing scheduling issues. The Dow up a point at the closing bell after a fluctuating day for the markets. The S&P down a point. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing. Get 0% financing for 72 months plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in. It's summer's hottest deal on vehicles like Ford Fusion, Escape, Mustang, and Explorer. Offer ends July 31st. Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, and save big across a full lineup of Ford vehicles. Get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Hurry into the summer sales event going on now only at your Ford dealer. Best-selling based on 2016 sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Trade assist cash requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle or lease terminated 30 days prior to or 90 days after delivery. Not available on Mustang Shelby, GT350, GT350R. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details. Take new retail delivery from dealer stock by July 31st, 2017.
This briefing just held on the search for 4 young men who went missing last week in Pennsylvania. Investigators digging up farmland north of Philly.
I am still encouraged by the pace of the investigation, but as you can imagine, it's just a massive in scope.
Bucks County DA Matthew Weintraub says the son of the farm owners remains a person of interest. The 4 Arab nations leading a boycott of Qatar say their sanctions will stay in place for now, despite Qatar's efforts to address concerns about terror funding by signing a new agreement with the U.S.
The memorandum lays out a series of steps the two countries will take over the coming months and years to interrupt and disable terror financing flows and intensify counterterrorism activities globally.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson announcing the agreement in Qatar before traveling to Saudi Arabia, which is leading the boycott. The number of countries affected by the recent laptop ban on certain flights to the U.S. continues to dwindle. Homeland Security officials say restrictions are now lifted for 6 of the 10 airlines originally impacted because they've implemented additional security measures requested by the U.S. An in-person request for a song to be played on the radio leads to a confrontation with police in Massachusetts.
My axe is my budgie. That's Me and My Axe from a group called Insane Clown Posse. 38-year-old Richard Newton was taken into police custody and placed in psychiatric observation after he walked into a Medford, Massachusetts radio station requesting the song. He was carrying an axe. In the 3-hour standoff that followed, cops tried to tase Newton, who returned to his car, drank beer, rammed a police vehicle, and threw sharp objects, including the axe, out of his window.
Fox's Bill Marcus. Newton was ultimately taken away on a stretcher. Again, a mixed day overall for Wall Street. The Dow up a fraction. The NASDAQ higher, too. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. And I need that AC tomorrow. Yes. Tonight, chance of thunderstorms, low of 71. Tomorrow, hot, humid, 95 for your high, a low of 75. Thursday, chance of thunderstorms, high 88, a low of 68. Right now, rain still sprinkling out throughout the area, 77 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
Is the Tay and J Show. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Probably not on your radio at 93.5. We're working to get that fixed.
So Marcus Jackson was just at the Brad Underwood media availability. He goes, hey, are you guys on the air?
Are we switching to a music station?
I go, no, we're off. Like, we're off the air now. And he thought I meant, like, for good.
We're done.
Like, oh, man, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, like, we're just not on the air because of the weather.
Yes.
We just got knocked off. So I don't think we're on terrestrial radio right now.
I don't think so.
But you can stream us online.
Okay.
I don't know how you'd hear this otherwise. We've tweeted it out. But ESPNCU.com, the WSJK app, or you can watch us on YouTube.
There you go.
Just search Tay and J Show. You got a radio show without actually radio.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's very weird. I was driving in from the office and I could not. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm hearing music right now on 93.5, but we're working on that. I know Tolono had their power knocked out, so I think that's part of the problem. But we'll work on it. We'll get it figured out as we go. I was able to podcast. As you should at ESPNCU.com and listen to Kendall Gill yesterday. What a fine gentleman. Isn't he? I mean, that's the thing that strikes me the most about Kendall Gill. You had asked the question. I think he's been doing it 25 years where he comes back, does the golf outing. Oh, it's a 28.
That's why he's 49. So I'm like, wait, were you in college when you started this? But, I mean, he was pretty young when he got to the pros.
Yes.
But still, I was like, man, you've been doing that ever since you had the opportunity to do that. And that's pretty cool.
It is. And my mom's church does a lot with Cunningham Children's Home. So he has always been a hero to my mom that he comes back every year and does this. And, you know, it's just one of those guys where when you hear him, you just can tell. He's just a super guy, and he said it best. You know, he grew up with a mom and dad, and he's appreciative of that. They're still around. And he said, I just want to give back. And, man, here he is 28 years later, still giving back. And it's such a cool thing to get him together. Lou Henson was there. I know Brad Underwood was out there. So just a cool thing right in the middle of summer to kind of get some guys together and talk some Illini hoop.
We are going to talk a lot of hoop today. Brad Underwood met with the media at about 2 o'clock, spoke for about 20 minutes. We'll play most of that audio for you. It's uploading right now to our site. So we'll play that for you as soon as we get it, likely this hour. Joe Hendrickson, City Suburban Hoops Report, will join us at 4:30. We got the July recruiting period that starts up later this week. And it's a big one. Brad Underwood said this is the most important July we will have as a staff, because they're playing catch-up.
Interesting.
Right? I mean, as a staff, they are playing catch-up with, you know, they don't have the relationships with some of these Illinois kids, some of the kids they're going after, because they haven't been a staff together.
Absolutely.
Underwood had relationships. They all had individual relationships with different kinds of prospects, but not as a complete staff. So they are still playing catch-up in 2018, 2019, and 2020. So they got a little bit done in April, but this is a big one where not only they got to be seen, that's what half the battle is for these big schools by your top prospects, but it's also about evaluating farther, especially with some of the prospects that they're not going to land 4 stars and 5 stars at every position, right? You got to find a Greggy Boyd Bowden.
Yep.
You got to find a Trent Frazier. The last staff did a really good job of finding Trent Frazier, and then you never know where the next Mark Smith can come from.
That's exactly right.
Obviously, we're focused on Ayo Dosunmu, Tim Finke, Talon Horton-Tucker, some other big names out there, and we'll talk about all those with Joe, but there's other guys that they want to be able to see and see if those guys can turn into Big Ten players.
It's interesting. This kind of happened to Lovey's staff, right? And they turned it into a top 5 class, so they did really well that first year. We'll see if Brad Underwood can do that. The interesting part is when you go through that list of Ayo and Taylor Horton-Tucker and Tim Finke, or Talon, I'm sorry. I'll never say that right. I will never say it right. I hope the kid comes here and I figure out how to say his name right. Otherwise, I'll never say it right. But it is interesting that obviously you've got kind of a built-in relationship with Finke because his brother Michael, of course, is on the team now. And I think Michael is raving, obviously. I read the article from Derek Piper about he loves Brad Underwood's system. So you have a little bit of a built-in advantage there with Tim. And then with Tucker, it's one of those deals where the other staff didn't even reach out to him, didn't even offer. So all of a sudden now you look like rock stars because immediately you make him a priority and say, listen, we want you here. So even though maybe you're behind with him, I think if nothing else, that little thing right there at least sends a note to him saying, well, listen, this staff appreciates me and wants me. I think that should feel good for him.
When it comes to that class, there's not a ton of high major in-state talent this year, but there are about 4 guys.
Got it.
Right? It's Dasunmu, who's a no doubt top 30, consensus top 40 player in the country. He's the big-time difference maker in this class I think Illinois can get. Horton Tucker and Finke, it's kind of, well, you're sitting well with both of them.
Right.
But you got to land one.
You do.
You got to land one of those guys, most likely, unless you're able to get a DJ Stewart or some of these other kids, Khalil Whitney, who they're in on. But then George Condit, who's a long, big man out of Chicago Corliss, developmental prospect. But that'd be a very good start to a class, and then maybe you go find somebody else. But that's a lot of pressure to land all the in-state kids. It will be really interesting to see how this comes together. And we'll talk more about it with Joe at 4:30.
It's funny, the DJ Wilson kid at Michigan. Now all of a sudden, he has me foaming at the mouth to get a kid with a huge wingspan. And that's what Condit kind of has, isn't it?
I mean, the idea of a big in basketball at all levels has changed.
Yeah, no doubt.
You can't think of... and that's the hard part about trying to explain this to fans now is, fans have been taught 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. John Gross even mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brad Underwood doesn't think that.
No, he doesn't think he needs Sean Pruitt underneath has no mobility.
Well, basically. And he doesn't even think I need a 4.
Right.
Or I need a 2. Or I need 5 really good basketball players.
Exactly.
Who's going to make the other team's life hell on the court.
Right.
And that's what I like about what Underwood does is he dictates his style, whether it's offensively with his pace and getting the shots up quickly, or it's defense where it's not sitting back.
Right.
It's getting in people's grill and trying to force turnovers. So he just wants the best players. But, DJ Wilson in college basketball is a 5.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It might not be your prototypical traditional 5, but would you rather have... there's not many bigs I would have rather had than DJ Wilson in the Big Ten last year outside of Caleb Swanigan.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to
Swanigan's not even a traditional guy.
He's not.
Even though he looks like...
Yep. He'll step outside, obviously, and hit the 3, and he did. He did that at a high level in college. And it is funny because I'm not going to sit here and claim that I know everything about Brad Underwood's offense. I can't wait to learn about his offense that he kind of brings and injects here at Illinois, but it will be fun to look out there and see a lot of guards. I'm excited about that. It's been a while for Illinois.
He said today, and you'll hear it later.
Yes.
I will always have a lot of guards.
That's good.
A lot of perimeter guys. I'm like, that's college basketball.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. If you look around and you watch the teams that make deep runs in the NCAA tournament, the majority of them have 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 solid guards. And you look at this year's team, yes, albeit young, with Tijon Lucas kind of the veteran now as a sophomore, but you're going to have Mark Smith, you're going to have Trent Frazier, and, DeMonte Williams, we're not sure yet with the injury with him and how much he'll actually be able to play if he does at all. But it's one of those how you're starting to see that shape up, and then you look at the next class, and Io could come in, and if you looked at that and could picture yourself with that, like any one of those 3 guards out on the court at the same time, man, that would be fun basketball.
We're going to talk about Illini basketball a lot today, so I don't want to focus about it all in this opening segment, but we'll chat more about this. You'll hear Brad Underwood, his thoughts on Greg Boyd-Bowden. I asked about him because he's going to have to play a role on this team right away, and just glancing by Greg, he looks the part of a Big Ten big man.
Okay.
There's just a lot of developing to do. He's a legit 6'9", 6'8". He's pretty, for a freshman, he's got some size to him, some strength to him, and he's really athletic. But can he play basketball at this level? So that'd be interesting to watch. We are going to talk with Joe Hendrickson at 4:30 more about the in-state kids. You'll hear from Brad Underwood. You'll hear from Tijon Lucas likely in the 5 o'clock hour. But we had the home run derby last night, Ron, and it's rare that this goes so well for Major League Baseball.
Right.
But this was it was meant to be a crowning moment for Aaron Judge, who is the story of baseball this year individually, and it totally was.
It was.
You see Justin Bour hit 22 home runs. I'm just imagining everybody in Major League Baseball's suite, like saying, really?
Yeah.
Bour is going to knock Judge out in the first round, and then Judge just makes it look easy.
It's crazy.
He beats Bour and moves on, and he just hit moonshot after moonshot. Even if those are juiced baseballs,
who cares?
They were throwing to him. Aaron Judge is a superstar.
Without a doubt.
And it's not, he obviously has produced this year, there still seems like there would be a hole in that long swing for him on, but he's hitting. Like Frank Thomas was talking about it. He's a contact hitter.
Absolutely.
Unlike Bellinger. Bellinger is like an all-out home run or bust kind of guy, which is what baseball is going to. Aaron Judge has made adjustments, and we'll see if he can continue to make adjustments. But there's something freakish about him,
right?
Because of his size,
right?
And then you add that he's with the New York Yankees. I'm trying to think of a bigger rising star that baseball's had come on the scene this unexpectedly. Because I mean, he was a top prospect, but he wasn't even the top guy people were looking for the Yankees this year. Because he plays in the Yankees uniform, because he's 6'7", there's a freakish quality that LeBron has.
Yes.
You're watching something that is almost unnatural.
It is. Right.
Kevin Durant's almost watching something, a 7-footer that shoots like that.
Unreal.
So I know there's been an Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
I know Mike Trout's come along and been one of the best baseball players ever. But there's just some star power about Aaron Judge that baseball didn't need him.
No.
But boy, this is a guy that I think can draw people in that aren't big baseball fans.
And you keep kind of waiting, all right, is he going to, at some point, are they going to figure him out and things will eventually kind of come back to the means a little bit? Or is he indeed this good? And I think you pointed it out perfectly. He's in a perfect spot in New York. Now, the rest of us around baseball would love it if he was in Chicago or St. Louis or Milwaukee or wherever. But for baseball in general and fans in general to have this kind of a talent doing his thing in New York, that alone is not easy. But it's a Cinderella story right now. I mean, everything's working out. Everything is hunky-dory right now for Aaron Judge, and it's fun to watch him. And I think even Charlie Blackmon said that. He is a contact hitter that has just
in an ogre's body.
In an ogre's body. And he just absolutely demolishes baseballs. When you said that today, you and I kind of briefly texted today, and the only name, seriously, I can think of is Albert Pujols with regards to how Albert Pujols was a 13th round pick, right?
He was more unexpected than Judge.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And then he just came on the scene, and as soon as Albert Pujols got his chance, he was hitting .330 with 30 home runs every year.
I'm just thinking of almost the physical freakishness of him. I mean, Aaron Judge is 6'7", 280 pounds.
Is this what is in 20 years, is every athlete going to be 6'7",
okay, here
220?
You go. Bo Jackson.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great call.
That is even if he's not the best player in the league, even if you don't love baseball, you might watch Bo Jackson play baseball.
There's no doubt. You'll watch just for the sheer athleticism of a kid.
I think Gronkowski is that kind of way. Aaron Judge doesn't have the personality of a Gronkowski.
No.
But, I mean, there is
that might be a good thing.
6'6" guy doing that.
It's sick.
That freakish quality that Aaron Judge has, I got to watch this guy.
Right. And I can remember when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were doing their thing. Now, we understand now why.
It was freakish, and it was unnatural.
It was freakish. But you can remember how Mark McGwire would get in that batter's box, and the bat looked like a toothpick, number one.
Yeah.
And the catcher would stand up, and he was still 3 feet, it seemed like, shorter than Mark McGwire, even though he wasn't. And you would just look at it, and it was almost like a larger than life. And when he swung, and more importantly, when he made contact with the ball, it was something to watch. And it was something that even if you weren't a Cardinals fan or even a baseball fan, it was must-see TV. And I think that's what Judge does.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good count. Is 98.
Just a big guy, and just watching that. And that's what's fun about watching this kid. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, he's got a shot right at a Triple Crown.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see the second half of the pressure, not only of trying to get the Yankees into the playoffs. Now, they have a lot around him, obviously. He's not the only guy, but trying to get that team in that spotlight into the playoffs and yet still continue to play at this high level will be interesting. The other thing that I thought is interesting, and we've seen this before, Jim Edmonds commented on it one time, that playing or competing in that home run derby wore him out. That's what Jim Edmonds said. He said it wore me out for the second half of the season.
Especially now with how they have it timed. You're trying to get as many as possible. You're going quicker than you were before.
So I'm anxious to see. Now, he's young, and he's so big that maybe it won't make a difference for a guy like Judge, but that will be another thing to kind of keep your eye on. I hope it doesn't become an issue because I still enjoy the home run contest.
Well,
and I don't want people to not do it because they're worried about it hurting their season.
I think the changes they've made have made it much better.
Yes, I agree.
It's made it a better TV product.
Totally agree.
You're not sitting there until 11 o'clock watching the home run.
Right.
Because these guys are taking pitches and taking pitches and just waiting for the perfect one. No, you just got to swing at them because you got to get as many hacks as you can in there in the limited time. And then I think going head to head is a nice way of doing it bracket style.
And with all due respect, because I know he's played a huge part in all of TV sports, but not having Chris Berman do the buck. I'm just so excited not to hear Chris Berman do that. I apologize, Chris. You've done a great job. You've
I don't think you need to
so
apologize.
much to sports on television for all of us for many years, but I was so glad not to have to listen to him last night.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
You know what I thought was good too? Another guy that got the spotlight was Miguel Sano.
Yes.
People don't talk about him enough within this young mix of talent. 21 homers this year, 62 RBI, hitting 276. I mean, he is a young star. He's a huge guy, too. He's 6'4", 280 pounds, too. But standing next to Aaron Judge, he doesn't look so big.
I mean, it's sick. You do. You have a guy like Justin Bohr, Gary Sanchez, if maybe a lot of people haven't watched him, even me included, haven't seen a lot of his games. So I know in today's television world, in today's sports world, you can turn on the TV essentially and see these guys every night. But for the average casual fan that maybe just follows the Cardinals or just follows the Cubs or the White Sox, to be able to watch guys like this and understand that the talent level out there. And you've said it before. You said it for the last month, and I couldn't agree more. Baseball is in a terrific spot right now. I think so. It is in a terrific spot.
People can talk about national ratings or whatever it is. Baseball is in a great spot.
It's in a great spot.
Look how much money they're bringing in, ticket sales. The TV deals aren't getting any less right now. And they're just loaded with young superstars.
It's going to be fun to watch. And this season, the second half of the season, even if you're a Cub and Cardinal fan and you're sitting there staring at your team under 500, you understand that, yes, the Brewers, hey, kudos to them if they continue to do this.
You're in the right division.
You're in the right division. And really, if you look at it, why not get excited? And I know, I'm speaking from a Cardinals fan. There have been times this year after the first or second inning, I've just shut the game off. I'm like, I just don't really want to sit here and just see the frustration of kicking balls around the infield, running into outs at third base. But as you look at this division and you say, you know what, this could be a fun July going forward and the rest of the season, the Cardinals still have a shot. The Cubs still have a shot. We know that.
And you have that Devil Cardinal magic where Luke Voigt and Paul DeJong will have good half years.
Yes.
Lead you to the playoffs. And then they'll be terrible after that.
Yep.
But hey, they'll have those half years where they lead you back in.
It'll be unbelievable. It'll be unbelievable. They'll bring Jack Flaherty up or whatever, and he'll go 8-0 in the second half of the season. That will be definitely Cardinaling.
Yeah.
If that's a word.
We'll hear from Brad Underwood at some point in this show.
Wait.
Joe Hendrickson, City Suburban Hoops Report, will join us at 4:30. We'll also talk, you also hear from Tijon Lucas, Illini sophomore point guard in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll do Tay's Take at 5:45. Okay. You can ask Lante any random question. Just tweet us at JWarnerScout, or you can text us on the Cheap Hour text line at 217-359-2255. That's 359-2255. While we're waiting on this Underwood audio line, you brought up that you want to talk a little bit about the Big Ten basketball scene next year and your thoughts on that and whether it provides Illinois huge challenge or a little bit opportunity.
Or a chance,
yes.
Right.
We'll talk about that. 359-2255 if you want to weigh in on the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. I tweet at JWarnerScout.
At Lante, ESPN, CU.
You can download the WSJK app. You can watch us on YouTube. Just search Tay and J Show. Get our podcast at ESPNCU.com. Or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. Austin Burke will have an update coming up. We got Jacob Diaz. Is Maddie Bunton in there as well?
She is.
All right. We got
in her Cub shirt.
We got the trio there.
We do. We got a lot to do. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. It is the Tay and J Show.
Hey, what are we doing for your birthday party this summer? Well, I was hoping to have a cookout like last summer. What? Don't you remember all those mosquito bites we got last year?
Good news, girls. Not only is Prairie View taking care of everyone's dandelions, now I'm going to take care of all their mosquitoes, too.
Yay!
Enjoy a bug-free summer. For all your mosquito control needs, call Lindy at Prairie View Landscaping and Turf Management at 355-9422. That's 355-9422 for mosquito control from Prairie View Landscaping.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
If you have nothing to smile about, schedule an appointment today at Angel Smiles Dental Center in Rantoul. Turn your frown upside down and show off those beautiful teeth. We all have unique smiles, and we know what it takes to maintain those smiles. After all, a smile is like a personal signature, whether young or old. Maintaining your beautiful smile has never been easier with a visit to Angel Smiles Dental Center. From fillings, crowns, and root canals to dental implants and braces for kids and adults alike, Angel Smiles Dental Center in Rantoul will serve your entire family for all of your dental needs in all stages of life. Angel Smiles accepts the medical card for most services. For those children 20 and under, they accept a number of insurance plans, and they have an in-house dental plan to help people who have no insurance at all. Angel Smiles Dental Center is waiting to see you. Schedule a visit today at Angel Smiles Dental Center in Rantoul. Visit angelsmilesdentalcenter.com. That's angelsmilesdentalcenter.com or call 892-8868.
Hey, Cardinal fans, there's still plenty of time to make your trip to St. Louis and Busch Stadium to see the Cardinals play. Why not make it the weekend of July 28th, 29th, and 30th when the Cardinals take on the Diamondbacks? That weekend is loaded with great promotions. It begins on Friday night with the replica 1967 World Series Championship Trophy. You'll take home a version of the trophy that stands at 6.5 inches tall, and it's an item you don't want to miss. Saturday, it's the adult replica 1919 jersey presented by Fabic Cat. Add this throwback jersey to your collection. Then stay in your seat after the game for a fireworks night, also presented by Fabic Cat. Sunday, July 30th, it's a Kids Pocket T-shirt presented by the Pasta House. This T-shirt is gray with a red pocket, and it also features Fred Bird. That Sunday is also Christian Day at the ballpark. It's the weekend of July 28th, 29th, and 30th. The Cards and the Diamondbacks. Great giveaways. Tickets available at cardinals.com/promotions. There's only one Cardinals baseball.
Out of town or just out of time? With Busey's Mobile Deposit, you can skip the line and deposit checks whenever you want, wherever you are. It's as easy as sign, snap, and send. Visit Busey.com for details or download the Busey mobile app for smartphones and tablets to securely access your account when it's convenient for you. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Got a question? Talk to our experts at StevieJay.com. Experts are ready to answer your questions for free. Looking for cool trends in clothing or gear as you support area teams? Game Day Spirit is the official fan store of the Fighting Illini. Landscaping tips are also available from Country Arbor's Nursery. New tile or soft surfaces in your home or business? Flooring Surfaces, where the world is at your feet. Experts are available now online at StevieJay.com.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 3:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change the subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign at 217-367-1105. The Home Run Derby was last night, and here's how it all went down. In the first round, Aaron Judge had to overcome 22-homer round by Justin Bour. Then Judge hit 23 homers. In the second round, it was a battle of the stud rookies. Bellinger hit 12 home runs, and Judge bested him by 1 with 13. The championship was Miguel Sano of the Twins versus the Yankees' Aaron Judge, and Judge won the championship 11-10 over Sano. Every matchup of the tournament-style event was decided by 1 homer. 9 million people watched the show, and that's up 55% from last year's Derby. That's according to Forbes magazine. The All-Star Game is tonight and is not played for anything besides money. Every player on the winning team gets $20,000. The losing team gets nothing. Home field advantage in the World Series goes to the team with the best record now. The pitching matchup for at least a few innings is Max Scherzer of the NL and Chris Sale of the AL. The all-stars for the local teams are, for the Cardinals, are pitcher Carlos Martinez and catcher Yadier Molina. The Cubs For the Cubs, it's Wade Davis. This is the first time in MLB history where there is not a player who won the World Series on the year prior on the All-Star Game roster. And finally, for the White Sox, it's outfielder Avisail Garcia. And that, my friends, is the Sports Center update. It's a really bare day today.
Yeah.
not a lot.
You're talking about a White Sox guy.
Yeah.
Avisail Garcia is an all-star. I still can't get over that.
Every team has to be represented.
Exactly. It's like the Cardinals with a punter back in the day.
I mean, the Cubs have to be represented, so Wade Davis, you get your call under 500.
Poor Cubs.
Thank you, Austin. Yeah, we really feel bad for those Cubbies now after they springboarded their way to the World Series last year, and now they're under 500. What a weird thing. That is just kind of when you think about that and just try to put your mind around what's going on in Chicago, because don't we all just sit here? There's two things I sit here and assume will happen in the second half of the season. The Brewers will finally wake up and decide they're not this good, and the Cubs will just all of a sudden figure out, you know what, we are this good. But then you look at that pitching and you say, you know what, until we've got help, there's no way that the Cubs are going to be that good. Now, they can still win this division even as they are, as they sit now even. But they need some help, and I know Theo's looking at that right now.
Just to give you an update on Illinois football recruiting, Woodrow Trey Lowe committed to West Virginia today. I hadn't heard any Illinois buzz on that. So that was a quarterback, three-star quarterback, 6'4", 200 pounds, really impressive athlete, a little raw. They're looking for a second quarterback in this class, and the two guys they were going after getting Karan Taylor have committed elsewhere. Alan Bowman to Texas Tech, a kid out of Texas, and Woodrow Lowe to West Virginia. He's out of Memphis. Neither of those schools had quarterback commits. I think it's always difficult to get a second quarterback commit in a class. Even if Illinois has a worse current roster of quarterbacks, kids don't look at that as much as, oh, you have somebody else in the class? That means you don't want me as much. So I think that's going to be, they got to probably go back to the drawing board a little bit. I really liked Caleb Ellaby to fit that spot. I like the cultural fit. He's a little bit undersized, maybe not physically as toolsy as Garrick McGee likes, but I thought he had some similarities to Riley O'Toole when it comes to overall solid skill set, really competitive, and I think he would have pushed some people, including Karan Taylor. But he committed to West Virginia or Western Michigan. It seems like Illinois has moved on from him, so they'll probably have to go back to the drawing board on the second quarterback spot in that class.
I'm not sure. I haven't set the over-under yet on how much money you would have to pay me salary-wise to go recruit. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could stand all the time spending into one kid and at the last minute he decides to go somewhere else. Not the kid's fault, but I just don't think I could do that. I'm not
$500,000 would not do it for you.
I could probably do it for
$500,000. That's what some of these guys are getting.
Then maybe $500,000. All right, I'm in. So if you guys are listening,
Hardy and Garrick make over that.
I think they're fine then. All right, I'll do it for that. But it is funny because think of the question when you went to talk to the second quarterback and you already have Karan Taylor on your team. And that kid looks at you and says, all right, so you've got Taylor. You really like him. So why would I come? What makes me different than him, and why do I have a chance? I mean, those are all hypotheticals, but that would be hard. That would be hard to say, well, listen, I mean, it's not like you're going to look at him and go, hey, between you and I, we really don't like him that well. We just needed to fill a spot. You're the guy we want. I mean, they're not going to do that. Yeah. They're not going to lie to a recruit, but it would be hard.
No, they'll lie to a recruit.
Well, that's true. That's probably true. Well, not this staff.
Stop being nice.
Not this Illinois staff. But, if you're doing defensive linemen, hey, listen, there's plenty of spots there. We need guys coming in and out. If you're a quarterback, there's one guy out there, and
one of them.
We always say if you've got two quarterbacks playing, that means you really don't have one.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's one of those situations, that'd be a hard thing to do. It's almost like you need a quarterback just every class. Not two, but the way the depth is here. I heard you and Carp talking about that yesterday with Dwayne Lawson now probably not going to show up, obviously, this year. And now the depth. I mean, you think about it, it's hard for me to imagine that any college football team could go into a season not having depth at the most important spot. And this isn't necessarily Lovey's fault, but you do look at that. If Chase Crouch goes down, look out.
Well, the thing about a fifth year, a lot of people were on board with adding a fifth year. You couldn't promise them the job.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, but most of those fifth-year guys that were out there, except for Malik Zaire, who wasn't going to come to Illinois because he had all these other places he could go, he ended up at Florida. I mean, they're not going to beat out Chase Crouch.
No.
So they want to go someplace where they could start right away.
They want to play.
And then Dwayne Lawson was that guy they wanted and didn't get the academic work done in time. Illinois knew that could be a risk, so they took that risk. But this isn't about 2017
no,
for
it's
the
not.
staff.
No, it's not.
And I think Illini fans need to understand that as well. Now, they're going to hope and pray that Chase Crouch can stay healthy so that they can be as competitive as possible. But if Crouch goes down, this team, you're throwing Jeff George Jr., Cam Thomas, or Trenard Davis out there.
Wow. And Cam Thomas does not need to be
He's
out
not
there.
ready.
No.
And Trenard Davis is a former defensive back.
Right.
And Jeff George Jr. is a former walk-on.
Right.
So, I mean, you don't want to have to get to that.
No.
But this isn't about putting a scholarship into somebody so that we can win maybe one more game in 2017. This is a bigger picture thing for Illinois.
Amen. And if you're Garrick McGee, you don't want to take what Chase Crouch does the best out of his game. You don't want to say, all right, we only want you dropping back three and throwing. You can't do that. You have to let Chase Crouch be who he is. And you said it best yesterday. With him, more of a running, unlike Wes Lunt, now you have to defend 11 guys.
Yep.
With Wes Lunt, and that's not a rip on him, but you pretty much knew he was going to drop back 3 or 5 steps and throw it. You didn't have to have somebody, keying on him or spying him, as they say, the whole time. You do with Crouch.
When your offensive line isn't good and your receivers can't get open, that's just spelling
disaster.
Terribleness, and that's what it was for Illinois. Now you got a guy who can move around a bit. You get Dudek back. Hopefully he stays healthy. Smalling, Kermani Green. You had those guys. Dominic Thiemann isn't a kid we talk about enough.
Right.
But he's a pretty good wide receiver that's got some talent. You add that all of a sudden, and I think this could be an offense that is fun if it all stays healthy, and that's a big question. But the defense is even bigger concern.
Oh, boy.
So
yeah, it's going to be interesting this year as we head out to Memorial Stadium. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255.
Carp and I talked a little Illinois basketball as we were saying, what do you want to hear from Brad Underwood tomorrow? And we'll play some of that here coming up. But you wanted to talk a little Big Ten basketball today because it is an interesting mix of returnees in the Big Ten, and there were some big losses in the Big Ten, whether it is a Caleb Swanigan or a DJ Wilson, a Melo Trimble. There were some big talents that have left that make this an interesting mix of teams.
It really does. There's one team right now that I could sit there and say, you're not better. Now, there's teams that Illinois is not better than, but there is definitely one team above all else, and that's Michigan State. And the return of, and I can't think of his name all of a sudden, I'm out of basketball mode, but the freshman last year that decided to come back this year that may have helped Illinois with regards to getting Mark Smith, he is back now for Michigan State, and that team is loaded.
Miles Bridges,
thank you. So Tom Izzo, that team is loaded. I think they are hands down the favorite. Now that Swanigan's gone, I think they're hands down the favorite to win the Big Ten, but I certainly don't look at the rest of the Big Ten and shudder. I don't sit there and say, oh my goodness, this is going to be one of those years where you're going to have a hard time beating any one of these teams. I think there are some winnable games out there for Illinois. Now, does that mean they can finish in the top half of the division? That's a lot of work to do to get to that point.
I don't think there is.
I don't think they can either. I just, when I look at this team defensively and inside, I just don't think there's enough at either spot. No, and there's no experience. Right, you're playing young kids, and your Tijon Lucas is a veteran now as a sophomore.
Okay, let's go through this because yesterday Carp and I went through it quickly and just kind of off the cuff. And as we went to a break, I'm like, the Big Ten's better than I think people are giving it credit for.
That's probably true.
Michigan State is likely a Final Four contender.
Right.
They are absolutely loaded. This could be Tom Izzo's most talented team.
Wow.
Nick Ward might be a pro.
Yep.
Right? Cassius Winston was just starting to hit his stride last year. Miles Bridges is really, really good. And they got a really good freshman class coming into this thing.
Maybe
as well.
Izzo's best, right?
Right.
Oh, wow.
So Michigan State is the favorite.
So they're there.
Maryland lost Melo Trimble.
Yes.
He's a fantastic player. That roster is still loaded.
Still, yes. Justin Jackson's back.
Anthony Cowan is no slouch at point guard.
Illinois fans saw that last year.
Right? He's really, really good. Justin Jackson becomes a sophomore. Kevin Herter becomes a sophomore. They added another great class. Right? They are loaded. And every year we go in with Mark Turgeon going, they're not that good. And every year they finish in the top 3.
Yep. And he's a hell of a coach.
Yes.
We know that.
So I think Maryland can really push Michigan State, and a team that we continually forget about is Minnesota.
Oh, absolutely.
I continue to want to be like, I don't buy that team, but you got to be kidding me if you don't think a team with Nate Mason as a senior, Reggie Lynch in the middle.
No doubt.
And Amir Coffey.
Yes.
And Jordan Murphy on the wings. That length, that athleticism, that skill set, that team, I think, can push Michigan State.
I think you're right.
I think that could be a top 4 seed in an NCAA tournament, a top 15 team in the country. So I sit there and think that could be 3 top 15 to top 20 teams right there. And then I add Northwestern.
Yeah, Northwestern's got everybody back.
Return everybody, and they got a year older.
Yes.
So Northwestern, to me, is an NCAA tournament team. I don't think they're a Big Ten title contender. Purdue
could be good. Without Swanigan, that hurts.
They lose Swanigan, but they are Purdue.
They've got everybody else back.
Everybody else is back. Carson Edwards, I think, takes a big leap this year. Vince Edwards is really good. Isaac Haas is still a freak, right? They just add another big man in this class coming up. So they are going to do Purdue things.
Yeah, they'll be
I
Purdue.
think they have a ceiling to them.
Okay.
But in the Big Ten, I think that's a top 5 team. Michigan.
And you don't want to play at Mackey.
Michigan loses Wilson and Walton.
Right.
Those are 2 big guys you got to replace.
Walton especially. Now, Wilson was a stud. We know he was a first-round draft pick, but Walton was the engine, right?
Yes.
He was the key to that team. You saw it in the Big Ten tournament. You saw it in the NCAA that Derek Walton, when he had the ball in his hands, he really had a great senior year. That will hurt Michigan. I'm not as scared as them, but they've got Wagner back. They've got some guys, and we know that John Beilein can coach.
Charles Matthews.
Yeah, the kid out of Chicago, right?
Kid that went to Kentucky, and now he's going to be eligible. People forget about him.
You do.
I think Abdur Rahman's going to be a very, very good player for them. The key for them is Xavier Simpson.
Right.
Xavier Simpson is the absolute key for them to see how good he can be, because he's got to replace about 80% of Derek Walton. I mean, he's not going to be 100% of what Derek Walton was last year. But he's going to be, I think that Michigan team, because who the coach is,
right?
Because how far into it they are. I think Illinois' model is Michigan.
I agree.
I think that's their model of how they will be in the Big Ten. But I think that team's going to be an NCAA tournament team. Penn State.
Right. And that was the team I was going to bring up next. That is a team loaded with athletes. Absolute athletes. We talked for about, the last 2 years, we've talked about this recruiting class that was coming into Penn State that was one of the best in the country, and now you're starting to see it play out on the court. Last year they took their lumps, but also they had some shining moments. I think this year is when we're going to see. I want proof. Yeah. I'll put it that way.
Yes, I agree with you.
I want proof.
I'm not penciling them in as an NCAA tournament team, but they are a contender.
Without a doubt.
I think they have I think I would give them better odds than Illinois.
Yes.
So there's 6 teams I think definitely will make an NCAA tournament. Then I start with Penn State, I think has a chance. Iowa.
Yeah. Without a senior on the roster, but they were good last year.
I know they lose Peter Jock. They're pretty good without him.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Those freshmen, that's a class that's come together. Yep. I think that's a good, solid team in the Big Ten. And then we haven't even mentioned Wisconsin.
Well, that's the thing, right? Oh, by the way.
I think they're going to be good.
Is this the year finally that they don't
Carp
finish?
and I talked about it. Who do we know that's on that roster?
Yeah, you lose Hayes, you lose Koenig. You've got the one kid back, my guy.
Bohannon's gone, right, or whatever his name.
Or Happ or whatever.
Yeah,
you got him back.
Okay,
he's
Happ
my guy. But they'll figure it out.
They'll find a guy.
They'll have another good guard. Yeah. They'll have another guy that just plays a role where he gets 10 points and about 8 rebounds every game.
Yeah, they're better in Illinois.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Right? So what are we getting to? I feel like Lon and a lot of people are like, oh, the Big Ten's not that good, but Illinois' got a bunch of question marks.
They do.
I'm high on Mark Smith and Chet Frazier. They got to be good next year.
Yes.
Mark Allstork has to be really good next year. Finke and Black have to be really good next year.
I'm terrified of the inside.
I think Iowa has more questions answered.
Yep.
Than Illinois.
Would agree.
I think Penn State has more questions answered than Illinois.
Would agree.
The teams I think you get into is Indiana. Can they be better than Indiana?
Yes.
Yes. Ohio State, they definitely be better.
Yes.
Ohio State could be the worst team in the Big Ten this year.
Right, crazy.
Rutgers,
yep.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Nebraska, yes.
Yes. Yeah, so there's 4 below you.
That's about it.
So how many teams are there? There's like 22 now in the Big Ten. I always
14.
forget. 14. So now all of a sudden you're 9.
If I had to project today,
yep,
I'm picking them as the 10th team in the Big Ten.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's fair. And the one thing we don't know yet is the intangible of Brad Underwood.
Well, and he's a big reason I'm picking them 10th and not 11th or 12th.
Fair enough. But yet to say that they would be in the top half of the Big Ten, that's a real reach. I think that's a real reach because I'm scared to death of the depth inside. You're going to have games, and defensively, I am just I don't even know if I want to watch some games this year because of the defense. Unless Brad Underwood can figure this thing out.
Ceiling of this team feels like 10 wins in the Big Ten?
Yeah.
Like a 7 spot,
that would be
spot
great
in the Big Ten?
That would be great, 10-8.
What's the floor of this team?
I think the floor would be probably 6.
6 or 7?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't think they are a 4-win team.
And that's confidence in Underwood.
Yes.
In my opinion.
And what irks me, I don't think the schedules are out. If they are, I haven't looked at them. You know, last year you had such a perfect schedule. You had the perfect schedule because all of your ones where you just play a team one was all the studs in the conference, and you could not get it done against that with that schedule. So I don't know how it's going to play out for Illinois. That does actually become a factor, that scheduling. It's an unbalanced scheduling in the Big Ten, and that could go against you or for you, and that's what kind of angered me last year about that Illinois team, that they didn't take advantage of a schedule and depth and experience on a team. And last year, that will go down. I know Carp will ask me in 5 years about that team, and he'll remember everything about it and what the temperature was that night when they lost to Michigan. But I will know that I'd just be frustrated that team could not do more last year with the schedule they had, with the experience they had back. But we move on.
It wasn't a very talented team.
It wasn't very talented. But
the coaching was bad.
Yeah, it was.
But
you just would hope that team, that would be the team that could crack through. But you know what? You've moved on. You've got a new coach now. We've got a new direction, a new vision. Let's see if it works out for Illinois, and I think it will under Brad Underwood.
If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. We'll talk with Joe Hendrickson, City Suburban Hoops Report at 4:30 about the Illini basketball recruiting in July. It's a big month for Brad Underwood. The audio's almost ready, so we'll hear from Brad Underwood at least at the start of the 4 o'clock hour.
You kind of bummed me out there going through that Big Ten, and I'm thinking they're going to be really good.
You
and then
texted me last night saying, I don't think the Big Ten's very good. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like,
no, you're right.
I mean, are you buying All-Stork, Finke, Black, Smith, Frazier over these teams like Minnesota and Northwest that we know what they are?
No. And
maybe Underwood can get this thing going. Maybe Mark Smith is a star right away. Maybe All-Stork can be Ravonte Rice-like. Maybe that all works.
Yes.
But over the years, we have gone into seasons with John Gross and just these teams that had some talent on them saying, well, if this, and this breaks.
And nothing.
That's a lot of ifs.
Yeah, right.
And just exactly like football last year with a good coaching staff, right? With Lovie Smith, you're sitting there going, if this, and this, they can make a bowl game. There's a lot of ifs.
There are.
And I think there'll be less of those going into the second year of Brad Underwood.
Correct.
But with what he inherited, it would be a heck of a job.
Yes, it would.
If they got to the NCAA tournament.
We've talked a lot of ifs, haven't we, in about 7 years?
Yes.
It would be nice to have a year where we just talk about how good Illinois is in football and basketball.
Well, if you went in, like Michigan has the last couple years, that the floor is we're an 11 seed. We're a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament. We get 9 or 10 wins in the Big Ten.
That's huge.
That's what the floor should be for this program.
Totally agree. And that's not unrealistic.
And that's what John Beilein has brought to Michigan, and that's why I love Underwood. I think he's of the John Beilein mold, where he surrounds himself with recruiters, finds the right fits for his system, but most importantly, he's a really good coach who dictates his style on the court.
There's an edge there. And there's an edge there that I think Illinois fans are really going to like. 359-2255. It is the Tay and J Show.
The same people you trust after a fire or water disaster will also keep your house clean year-round. That's because the specialists at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County are trained in every category of cleaning, from mold remediation to the cleaning of carpets, upholstery, air ducts, and crawl spaces. They're here to help protect every square foot of your most valuable possessions. ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County, or visit them at servproofchampaignUrbana.com. That's the bright green cleanup team at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
The 2017 Champaign County Fair returns to the Champaign County Fairgrounds Friday, July 21st through Saturday, July 29th. Enjoy fair food and carnival rides, live music in the beer pavilion, and tons of events at the grandstand. Friday, it's Division II Midget Series racing. Saturday at the fair, it's Military Day with the Classic and Custom Car and Truck Show and the Demolition Derby at 6 p.m. Family and Agricultural Day takes place Sunday at the fair. And new this year, the IPRA Rodeo presented by Wooten Rodeo Company at the grandstand at 5:30. Monday, it's Livestock Day and the Big Talent Show. Tuesday at the fairgrounds, don't miss harness racing. Wednesday, July July 26th, the Champaign County Fairgrounds. The Dick Andre Memorial Race. Thursday, it's 4-H and Youth Day. Then Friday, live music from country stars Chris Young and Drew Baldridge on the Craig's Concrete Stage. Then the fair wraps up Saturday, July 29th with tractor pulls all day long. Kids and families will love Bracelet Day. Unlimited rides on Sunday, July 23rd, Tuesday, July 25th, and Saturday, July 29th. Go to ChampaignCountyFair.cc for more information. That's ChampaignCountyFair.cc. Go to ChampaignCountyFair.cc.
Napa know-how.
The Napa Legend battery does legendary things, like starting your car when the heat index hits $1.25, or making sure your AC stays running like a gazelle. And now, when you buy a Napa Legend battery, you'll get a prepaid Visa card by mail worth $15. $15 back and a new battery? That's not just legendary. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 7/31/17.
Napa know-how.
The Napa Legend battery does legendary things, like starting your car when the heat index hits $1.25, or making sure your AC stays running like a gazelle. And now, when you buy a Napa Legend battery, you'll get a prepaid Visa card by mail worth $15. $15 back and a new battery? That's not just legendary. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 7/31/17.
Hey, Sue, check out these sandals. I don't wear sandals. They're so cute.
Dry, cracked feet? Carousel Intensive Foot Repair doesn't just cover. Carousel removes hard, dry skin, then deeply moisturizes and actually repairs. Feet look good so fast you see a visible difference in just one day.
Sue, you look great in these sandals. Get them. Yeah.
Carousel Intensive Foot Repair in the foot care aisle. See the one-day difference.
Join the Champaign Parks Foundation on Friday, July 21st as we turn the Virginia Theater into a cabaret to benefit parks, programs, and services in our community. Admission is $60 per person and includes drinks, hors d'oeuvres, and a live performance by local jazz singer Katie Flynn. Reserve your spot now by emailing Laura Audeberry at laura.audeberry@champaignparks.com by July 14th. For more information, call 819-3839.
This is Chuck Lee with Provident Financial Group. Are you sure you're on track to reach your retirement goals? Wondering how much money you'll need to last your lifetime? Whether you're retiring in a few weeks or a few years, we can analyze your needs and create a plan that's right for you. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com.
Partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
It's Lon Tay from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street, just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks.
There's never been a better time to stop smoking and switch to vaping. To save money you're spending on cigarettes. To experience new flavors, new selection, and new savings. There's never been a better time to stop in and see the difference at Vapors E-Cigs, LLC. Vapors E-Cigs has the most knowledgeable and caring staff, inviting atmosphere along with the best prices on juice and hardware. They also have an amazing reward system to help you earn savings along the way, including discounts on juices, coils, and even 70% off a kit. Now's definitely the time to stop by Vapors E-Cigs, LLC.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Well, mosquitoes, they can be a nuisance, and with a reported case of West Nile in Champaign, it's even more important to keep your yard mosquito-free. And you can do that with Prairie View Landscaping. Since it's Prairie View Landscaping's 25th year in business, they're celebrating by offering up to 25% off their mosquito program. You can email mypvdiscount@gmail.com for a free quote. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. There's no pressure here. They'll come out, they'll look at everything, they'll give you a free quote, then you decide if you want to continue on. Sign up today, and on July 28th, Prairie View Landscaping will announce a winner right here on the Tay and J Show for 2 free treatments. Just email Prairie View Landscaping, mypvdiscount@gmail.com. I know Lindy's been in here with us, Jeremy, and he says it works.
Yeah.
He has customers say it works.
So we had one texter say, can you guys discuss the Illinois baseball recruits coming in?
They had a guy, David Smith. He's a left-handed thrower from West Frankfort, Illinois. No, I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. I wouldn't say that's the word.
Yeah.
We just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's too much for us.
That would be hard to. Well, and baseball itself is hard because, like, Charlie Tilson's the perfect example. This was a really good recruit for Dan Hartleb years ago, and then he gets drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals in the second round, and guess what? He's gone.
And now he can't stay in the field. He keeps hitting injuries.
Right.
Poor kid.
That Charlie Tilson, the whole time with St. Louis, he's just looking at. I remember talking to him at that A game he was playing when I saw him down in Florida, or maybe it was AA, and I'm like, what do you think? And he goes, Lon, I just need a chance. I just want a chance. He goes, now, I don't know if it's in this organization because we have so much outfield depth ahead of me. He's like, I just need a chance. I want to get to AA. In fact, it was a single A game. He goes, I want to get to AA. That's where you can start moving. So what do? They trade him to the White Sox, and you're thinking, okay. And then he goes out the first game and blows out his knee. And now all of a sudden he's sitting there looking at this roster being just changed.
And now he has a stress fracture.
Oh, bless his heart.
And, the Cardinals' side hasn't worked out either because Zach Duke's been hurt, but he's about ready to come back.
Yeah. Maybe
get a nice little bullpen piece to help squeeze you to the playoffs.
Well, we could get him. We could get Segrist back.
Yeah.
Everything's falling into place for the Cardinals.
Another texture. I'll buy stock in Underwood and new players.
Okay.
We aren't saying we're not. But when it comes to expectations for next year,
right.
This is the offseason, and when we play Underwood, people are going to be like, oh, he loves the freshmen. Off-season stories are great.
Sure.
What happens when they suit up?
Amen.
Right? I mean, that's what is real, and they're young guys.
Yep.
Mark Smith's pretty strong, and, Underwood said today that Trent Frazier's a little stronger than he thought he was going to be. But is that Big Ten strong yet?
No.
I mean, Greg Boyd Bowden, is he ready for 10 to 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And here, are Michael Finke and Laron Black ready to be really good Big Ten players?
Exactly.
Is Mark Allstork ready to be a real Big Ten player?
Can you make that much of an impact in the Big Ten?
If I'm setting my expectations, if they make the tournament, I would be pleasantly surprised. I'd be pumped for the direction of this program. I won't be dissuaded either way of what happens this year. But I do think this is going to be what he inherited. It's going to be a struggle.
I agree 100%. And that'll be something that Brad Underwood has a challenge on his hands this year.
Half the roster he had to recruit.
Exactly. That quick. Think about that. That quick. So we'll see. We'll see. And you know what?
It's exciting, though.
Brad Underwood took a 12-win Oklahoma State team 2 years ago to the NCAA tournament. Now, they had Jawan Evans. That makes a big difference, and they had other kids that stepped up and improved. We'll see how much he can do that for
It'll be exciting to see what he can do.
I agree.
Because he's a heck of a coach. You'll hear from Brad Underwood coming up next. Then Joe Hendrickson, City Suburban Hoops Report, joins us at 4:30.
It is the Tay and J Show.
Hanson's Auto Repair in Urbana is a family-owned and operated full-service garage. For over 40 years, they've offered friendly atmosphere, quality work, and reasonable prices. Whether it's an oil change, brake service, or engine replacement, Hanson's Auto does it all. They're a locally owned dealer who cares, providing fast, comprehensive, and expert service. Family-owned, operated, and trusted since 1966, Hanson's Auto Repair, 1202 East Washington in Urbana. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Visit them online at hansonsautorepair.com.
Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini at 1422 South Neal Street, is officially closed. In the meantime, continue to get all your Fighting Illini needs online at GameDaySpirit.com or at the fan store on the corner of 6th and Green in the heart of Campus Town. There you can find their large selection of BOGO tees. New to the BOGO deal is the flexibility to mix and match youth sizes with adult sizes. Want to be the first to hear about Game Day's deals and promotions? Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram by searching at Game Day Spirit. And you stay up to date on officially licensed Fighting Illini gear from the official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
Take a drive to Hoopston for the best deals. At the Ford store on Route 1, get up to $5,550 off America's favorite Ford F-150. If you think that's a good deal, how about the family hauling Ford Expedition for up to $7,500 off? Over at Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Route 9, it's summer clearance deals like 20% off select Jeep Patriots, up to $4,500 total cash off Jeep Cherokees, and up to $6,250 off Ram trucks. These are just a few of the hot deals in Hoopston. Come in today or visit them online, FordofHoopston.com and HoopstonChrysler.com.
The The 2017 Champaign County Fair returns to the Champaign County Fairgrounds Friday, July 21st through Saturday, July 29th. Enjoy fair food and carnival rides, live music in the beer pavilion, and tons of events at the grandstand. Friday, it's Division II Midget Series racing. Saturday at the fair, it's Military Day with the Classic and Custom Car and Truck Show and the Demolition Derby at 6 p.m. Family and Agricultural Day takes place Sunday at the fair. And new this year, the IPRA Rodeo presented by Wooten Rodeo Company at the grandstand at 5:30. Monday, it's Livestock Day and the Big Talent Show. Tuesday at the fairgrounds, don't miss harness racing. Wednesday, July 26th, the Champaign County Fairgrounds, the Dick Andre Memorial Race. Thursday, it's 4-H and Youth Day. Then Friday, live music from country stars Chris Young and Drew Baldridge on the Craig's Concrete Stage. Then the fair wraps up Saturday, July 29th with tractor pulls all day long. Kids and families will love Bracelet Day. Unlimited rides on Sunday, July 23rd, Tuesday, July 25th, and Saturday, July 29th. Go to ChampaignCountyFair.cc for more information. That's ChampaignCountyFair.cc. Go to ChampaignCountyFair.cc.
Got a question? Talk to our experts at StevieJay.com. Experts are ready to answer your questions for free. Looking for cool trends in clothing or gear as you support area teams? Game Day Spirit is the official fan store of the Fighting Illini. Landscaping tips are also available from Country Arbor's Nursery. New tile or soft surfaces in your home or business? Flooring Surfaces, where the world is at your feet. Experts are available now online at StevieJay.com.
You're listening to WXJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
From New York, the Fox Report.
I'm Lisa Brady. Transparency. That's what Donald Trump Jr. says he wanted by releasing the chain of emails that led to his meeting with a Russian lawyer last summer. But Democrats are pouncing.
The emails are the end of the idea pushed by the administration and the president that there is absolutely no evidence of intent to coordinate or collude.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, after an intermediary called the attorney a Russian government lawyer, offering information potentially damaging to the Clinton campaign. The lawyer says she doesn't represent the Russian government and never personally claimed to have any information. A brief statement from President Trump read by Deputy Spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
My son is a high-quality person, and I applaud his transparency.
She also says the president's frustrated this is still an issue, referring any other questions about it to attorneys. The Senate's August recess is now delayed for more time to tackle health care and other issues. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on the Hill.
The Senate August recess won't start until the middle of August. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell announcing a 2-week delay, telling reporters the to-do list remains too long.
There are other things that we have to do, and we only have a limited number of days left.
McConnell says the plan is to still move on health care legislation next week, then turn to must-pass appropriations bills, a debt limit increase, and President Trump's nominations. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says he has sympathy for the GOP, telling reporters if he were them, he wouldn't want to go home and face voters either. Lisa.
Jared, the deadliest marine crash in more than a decade remains under investigation in Mississippi. 7 of the 16 service members killed yesterday were Special Operations Forces on a training mission. Another mixed finish on Wall Street, the Dow up a fraction. On the Fox Report, fair and balanced.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing. It's your chance to get a Ford F-150 for 0% financing for 60 months, plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in. It's summer's hottest deal on the award-winning Built Ford Top F-150. Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. And save big on the Ford F-150. Get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Hurry into the summer sales event, going on now only at your Ford dealer. Best-selling based on 2016 sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 60 months at $1,667 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Trade Assist Cash requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle, or lease terminated 30 days prior to or 90 days after delivery. Not available on Raptor. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details. Take new retail delivery from dealer stock by July 31st, 2017.
Wildfire devastation in California, but firefighters have been able to make progress with help from better weather. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal is live in L.A.
Lisa, fire in Northern California calmed down just enough for crews to assess how much damage has been done. 36 homes gone and 37 other structures lost in the wildfire near Oroville. Cal Fire Captain Jordan Moda says while winter rains got us out of a drought here, it also helped new vegetation grow that then dried out in the hot weather with super low humidities.
We're seeing a grass crop like we've not seen in the last 5 to 7 years due to the drought. What caused that is all the rain. So we're seeing a grass crop that is very, very thick, very, very continuous with the fine dead fuel.
Crews have also been able to increase containment on 2 other major fires that forced evacuations at each end of Santa Barbara County, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. Across the country, crews battling to contain more than 50 large wildfires. A doctor accused of sexually assaulting U.S. gymnasts makes a plea deal in a separate child pornography case.
Larry Nasser, a former sports medicine doctor at Michigan State University and USA Gymnastics, pleads guilty in federal court in Grand Rapids to 3 counts of child pornography possession in a deal with prosecutors that spares Nasser sexual exploitation and other related charges. He faces up to 20 years in prison and has to register as a sex offender.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Nasser remains held without bond, awaiting trial in 3 cases stemming from allegations he assaulted more than 100 women and girls while they were treated for sports injuries. The Olympics may be on the way back to L.A., one of only 2 cities still competing for the right to host the 2024 Games, along with Paris. The International Olympic Committee approving a 3-way deal today to award 2024 to one city and 2028 to the other. Final decision in September. In New York, I'm Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
We are back on the airwaves. Not just the stream or the YouTube. We're on your terrestrial radios
Guess
right
what?
now.
We just had, in 6.5 years, the best hour of radio we've ever had, and nobody heard it.
Where would you put it percentile? Like 55 percentile?
Very informative.
Yes.
We talked Illinois football, talked Illinois basketball, talked about Aaron Judge.
Talked baseball,
Talked some baseball.
Talked Illinois baseball.
Yeah, I'd say that ranked at least top 70 is 70 percentile.
Okay.
Yeah, I think very informative hour.
Well, here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com.
15 seconds.
Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 71. Tomorrow, hot, humid, high 95, low of 76. Thursday, chance of thunderstorms, high 88, low of 68. Right now, sun's coming out, 81, feels like 88 in Champaign-Urbana.
All right, it's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5, coming at you loud and clear now on that radio of yours. Well done. Hopefully you have us in your setting. I would assume most do by now. Do you have it at number 1? Like, my truck is so old, I still do. Do cars even, the new cars even have settings?
Yes, of course.
Oh, they do? Okay, I didn't know. I
Got a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's what I got.
I have like 6 pages of them.
I got in my son's car the other day. He had to do some work on it, or I had to take it down. Of course, Dad's paying, right? Mm-hmm. So I had to take it down to somebody in Villa Grove, Mark, to do some work on it. And I went through the settings, and the very last one was 93.5. I'm like, hey, thanks for the love, Lucas. Really appreciate you. He's like, well, I listen. I listen once in a while. I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect a son of mine to actually want to listen to me a lot.
You think that'd be cool? You think Torin would be like,
I think
cool.
early it'd be cool.
Yes. I think with people I meet early on, they're like, oh, that's really cool. We're going to listen. And then about a month later, I'm like, so we had a really cool interview on the show. Oh, I wasn't able to hear it.
Well, I think people would rather hear Brad Underwood than us talk.
Yes.
So
I would agree with that.
This is a little bit into the interview session today. He talked a little about workouts. They haven't done much as a team.
Okay.
Today was like the first time they got all their guys together and had a team workout. One, they're focused on the fundamentals, the skill set, improving that for individual players. And then they're teaching them a little bit about their system. But also, you don't have your full roster here yet.
Allstork's not there.
Mark Allstork is not here yet. He will be in August. He's got to wrap up a couple classes at Wright State to graduate so he can come here. Then Matic Vasile isn't here yet as well.
Got it.
He won't be here until August. So you could do some teamwork, but one of them's a huge piece for you in Mark Allstor.
Huge.
How far involved do you want to get with that? Plus, the staff is about to go on the road recruiting right now. So it's a lot of individual work, and then they'll get to the teamwork a lot more as they go along here. But Brad Underwood talks a lot about the individual players, talks a lot about recruiting coming up this month, the July period, obviously a huge one for college basketball. But here's a little bit about the freshmen starting off.
Their work ethic, their culture, their commitment to what we're doing has been great, not just on the court but in the weight room. And it's a huge adjustment, but I've been very, very pleased with each and every one of them. They've been tremendous to this point.
Coach, given the post depth issue, what do you want to see out of Ebo, Greg, as we go along here in the summer and fall?
Effort, rebounds. As we look forward, those are things that he can do. He's got a steep learning curve, as all freshmen do. So it's just about gaining knowledge. He's an elite athlete. I mean, elite. He's a guy that's capable of doing things that not many guys are athletically. And yet, you've got to learn. And so gaining knowledge, understanding, trying to figure out the physicality of the game, all those things are important. But he's a very athletic, very talented young man.
What is DeMonte's situation? Is he doing anything?
Yeah, he is. He's been doing a little bit of just slight movements. He's been taking part in our ball handling, our passing. He actually shot a layup the other day for the first time. He's been doing some stationary things. He's got another test this week to test his quad strength to see if he's gained 100% of his strength back there, and that will allow him to move on. But been very pleased with what he's been able to do and his progress. He continues to work very hard at his rehab, and Paul, our trainers, have been very pleased with him to this point. So we'll continue and expect to see full improvement as we continue through the summer.
Probably way too early for this, but he's planning to play him this year?
Absolutely. Until we find out otherwise.
Three July evaluation periods coming up. And I know you can't talk about specific players, obviously, but what do you and your staff want to get accomplished here in July?
A lot. It's the biggest summer we'll have. And I say that from this standpoint. They're all big, but this is the summer where it's a new staff, and you're somewhat behind. We're trying to catch up. We're still in evaluation process with 19s, with 20s, and yet we've got to buckle down and hone in and get caught up and continue to work 18s and guys that we feel great about and that fill our needs. So it's a very, very important time, and it's important for us to be seen, and it's also an important time for us to evaluate, and evaluation's the key word there. We haven't seen them all, and we, there's probably some guys that we're going to recruit that we have not aren't the common names or names that you've seen. We've still got to do a good job of evaluating. Our guys now understand a little bit about our system and what we're looking for, and there'll be a guy or two pop out.
How much July different than the April evaluation?
Yeah, it'll be a lot. I think it's more important to that our staff understands what our system is, what we're doing a little more. They've actually seen it, not just looked at it on film or had me talk about it. They get a grasp for what we're about in terms of our culture. So there's guys out there. That's why I say there's guys out there that will pop up. But yet we've made contact with guys. We've built relationships. Now it's about showing that love and continuing to strengthen those relationships. So we're behind, but we're a lot farther along than we were in April.
Coach, when you look at the roster about this time last year, you were doing the same thing, getting your players, doing fundamental stuff like that. I feel like deja vu, where you're kind of doing the same thing over again this year.
I haven't thought about it really. I think I believe in what I know, and it works. I'm confident in that. I'm excited about how this group has committed with both feet in to doing that, and the fact that we're going to do the same thing next summer. So the name on the front of the uniform is different, but the way we're approaching things is very much the same as we did a year ago.
Just getting to know these guys more easy. The fact that you did this last year.
Yeah, I think it's building relationships is the biggest part of what we do. So I think we can continue to nurture those relationships and understand that we're that's part of what we do.
One question about Jeff on your staff. That's an important position, and he can't be a yes man, can he? He's got to feel empowered to tell you you're crazy or you've lost your mind. You know what I'm saying? He's got to be able to disagree with you. Is that right?
That's why I hired it.
Exactly.
That's why I hired it, and I want that from all my staff. I'm not. I'm secure enough in who I am. I don't need yes men. I need guys that will challenge me every day. I also need guys that throw ideas from a creative standpoint at me. There's a lot of ways to skin the cat, so to speak, and yet 80% of them I may not do, and they need to keep coming back with that. And Jeff's a wonderful basketball mind. He knows me personally. He's been around me. He's worked with me before. So there's a tremendous comfort level that I have with him and him with me, and I appreciate that. It's a big part of I think helping make me a better coach.
Coach, when you look at your roster and that 2018 class, what do you feel like you need to come away with at the end of the class? What are some focused areas for that?
Good players out there. Yeah. I think we're recruiting every position. I think it all plays out. I think that you can't get into specific needs. I'm always going to have an abundance of perimeter players. And I like the versatility. I like different pieces. I don't like them to look alike or play alike. And having guys that can be really skilled and not as athletic, or then the next guy, I want him to be a really good athlete who could guard multiple positions. So like pieces, I think we're looking for guys that have a motor. I think we're looking for guys that don't want to be just good, they want to be great. And most importantly, I'm looking for guys that want to wear this eye and do that with pride and play for the name on the front.
How do people respond to the eye in far-flung locations? Maybe some people didn't even realize there had been a coaching change. Maybe some people have a different perception of Illinois. What have you encountered so far?
It's been nothing but great. It's probably been as good nationally, worldwide, as it has been in the state. And I think that's a tribute to how good our staff is. I think it's a tribute to how well connected they are. There's a lot of respect. I think everybody knows how great Illinois basketball can be, and I think that's something that everybody knows. For whatever reason, I'm not getting into. It hasn't been where it's capable of being, but everybody knows how great this program is.
When do your other two guys arrive?
August. Start of school in the fall.
So with those two, you're going to have as many or maybe more newcomers than your returning guys. What are your thoughts on reshaping the roster in year one the way you did it?
I had no choice. It's one of those situations that I don't get real consumed by that. Sure, do you want veterans and seniors? Maybe. But, we didn't have that option. So we went out and did the very best we could in terms of filling those roster spots and those needs, creating a culture of what we hope is winning and a solid foundation with those guys. We've got a group back that wants to be here. They're excited to be here, and they've been off the charts. So whether we got new guys or veterans, they've all got to learn. It's all a year one experience of finding their way, so to speak. So it's, in certain terms, they're kind of all on the same page.
You added 4 guys once you got here. Does that maybe help you get a little head start because you were able to find guys that will fit kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah, I think. I think that again, we were able to earmark guys that we felt were capable of helping us and guys that fit what we do. We didn't go out. We've still got open scholarships. We're not going to fill the scholarships just to fill them. I think we had to fill with guys that we thought were everything we were about and fit our program. And we weren't going to bring anybody in that didn't do that. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited, for all those guys. They've got a great opportunity and to contribute and play right away.
Coach talked about implementing the system. Do you have guys watch film this summer, things like that, get accustomed to it?
Absolutely. Technology is a wonderful thing, and we can get it to their phones. We can get it to their iPads, their computers. They can come in and watch with coaches quite frequently. But it's not just about the culture. It's about terminology and literally the encyclopedia, so to speak, of what we do in the dictionary. And the more familiar our players become with that, the easier some of this transition. We only get 2 hours a week with them on the court. And like I said, we've done very little team-wise, but just understanding vocabulary can be a huge benefit to these guys. So they watch film, and that's been a big part of being able to expand in today's world with technology.
With Trent and Mark, anything that has surprised you since they've been here, something you didn't know about them since they got here?
Well, I think Trent surprised me that he's stronger than he looks. Mark is scary strong. I think he could bench press the building. And he's just so naturally got that strength. But I've been impressed with both of how vocal they are, their knowledge. Their basketball IQ is very, very high. That you don't see in a lot of freshmen. And you'd have two freshmen that have tremendous confidence in their abilities, and they're not afraid to, as freshmen, to come out here and act that way, more importantly, but play that way.
How important is that for next year?
Huge. You got to. I mean, everybody on this roster needs to be ready to play, and to have guys that think that way and have the ability to do that, very important, because they're not scared. I know that they got.
That's Brad Underwood today. Basketball is going off in the background, so sorry for that, but that's what we had to deal with today.
It's great stuff.
But you got to hear a lot of different things from Brad Underwood about this year's team, about off-season workouts and recruiting going forward. What stuck out for you, Lon?
A few things. I like the fact of watching the system already when he talked about technology and the fact that these guys, like a Mark Allstork, who's not on campus yet, and I want to ask you about him in a second, is the fact that Brad Underwood can send him something and say, hey, this is what we run. This is what you're going to be doing. Watch this right here. This is how we see you and our system going forward. I love the fact when he talks about the basketball IQ of a guy like Mark Smith and Trent Frazier. It seems like both those kids since the get-go, and we've known Trent longer in terms of just knowing about him, it seemed like he's a kid that on the court kind of understands what's going on.
Right.
And you need guys like that. And unfortunately, there have been some moments here in Illinois basketball the last 5 years. Sometimes I've wondered, watching games, like, do most of these guys out here really understand what's going on? That's the thing, too. And then, like with Mark Smith, when he said he could bench press he could squat this building, Mark Smith.
He said bench press.
Or bench press, yeah. Mark Smith is that guy. We all know this guy, right? I had a guy in college, Paul Hundley, who was actually a farm boy. But we all know this one friend that is so strong, and he does nothing to get strong. Like, he doesn't lift. Now, these kids obviously lift. But he's just that kid that's that strong. That'll be Mark Smith, and that will be fun to watch him develop through the years going forward. But the thing I like about Underwood, and this is what I wanted to ask you a little bit, a few things. What is the difference between, and this isn't a rip on Gross or anything, or a credit to Underwood. What is the difference when you're asking questions to a Brad Underwood versus a John Gross? Is there anything that stands out to you with regards to interviewing both of those guys?
Less cliches.
Yeah.
Less buzzwords.
Right.
It's just straight talk.
Boom.
But the thing that's different about Underwood that Gross didn't have, Gross came in here, and I don't want people to forget how they felt about Gross his first 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of swagger.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of confidence that Illinois fans needed to hear at that point.
Illinois basketball is in a good place.
There just weren't results behind it.
No.
There are results behind Underwood.
That's correct.
There's a credibility.
Yes.
That this guy knows what he's doing. I mean, he's done it at this high of a level for 4 years as a head coach, 3 of them at Stephen F. Austin, 1 at another Power 5 school. There is a credibility that comes with listening to him.
That's correct.
That John Gross didn't have.
Yep.
Especially later on in his career as he continued to lose. Underwood has that credibility, and that coaching tree has been pretty successful behind him.
We've got Joe Henriksen coming up, but one more question about Mark Allstork, a kid that's going to arrive late along with Matic Vasil. How many times will I say that name?
Matic Vasil.
And I keep wanting to say Matic Vasil. Those two are coming in late. I'm not expecting a lot from Vasil, but Allstork obviously is going to be a big part of this. Is there anything right now that's hindering, in other words, him not being able to be here until August? Is that a concern, or is this a kid that's now in his fifth year?
Games don't start until November.
Yeah, so he should be fine, right?
I mean, for a fifth-year guy, there's always going to be a little bit of, but this whole team is going through this.
Right.
So that's the thing.
That's a great point.
He's going to miss a couple months of workouts individually, that he's not going to be up to speed with those things. But when it comes to actually playing together and learning the system, he's not going to be that far behind.
Fair enough.
Obviously, they're having some discussions with him now about things he can do on his own. I'm not too concerned about a guy like that.
Got it.
I mean, if we're talking last year, Tijon Lucas missing most of the offseason,
good call.
That's a big concern. Jalen Coleman-Lands never having an offseason here at Illinois. That was a big concern for me. For a veteran like him, for a team that's got all of these newcomers, I mean, more than half this team will be newcomers.
Yeah.
Right? So that is where it's like, I don't think it's that big of a deal because everybody's going through it with this team.
It will be interesting as a fan to watch that first game, and you've got a chance to see Trent Frazier for the first time, Mark Smith for the first time, Mark Allstork for the first time, Ebo for the first time, DeMonte Williams maybe if he's out there. You just look at that and you're like, there's all these new pieces that as a fan I'm excited about. I'm not saying I expect unbelievable results.
And will we be seeing Michael Finke for the first time?
Right.
Like what he can actually be.
That is correct.
Kipper Nichols is a sophomore. Tijon Lucas is a sophomore. There's either a big leap or a big step back as a sophomore. I think those guys are more likely to take a big leap.
I would be excited about that. And we're going to hear from Tijon Lucas later in the show in the 5 o'clock hour. You had a chance to visit with him. I can't wait. I mean, this is a veteran now. He's a grizzled veteran, right? I'm excited though to see what Tijon did last year from day one when he didn't even get on the court to the final game where he was really a leader out there, especially on the defensive end. I'm excited about the steps and the leaps that Tijon Lucas will make. He did it under John Gross, and I expect him to do it even further under Brad Underwood. When we come back, Joe Henriksen, he's the goods, City Suburban Hoops Report. How about this next class of recruits? We're going to ask him his feelings on what Illinois is looking for and how they stand in shape with these kids. We'll do it all next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Baxter's Grill in Champaign serves up classic American cuisine made with the freshest ingredients. And now, all summer long, you can enjoy Baxter's delicious food and ice-cold drinks outside in their spacious outdoor bar and patio. In addition to their signature appetizers and entrees, Baxter's has happy hour specials 6 days a week, including half-price bottles of wine on Tuesdays and $2 Coronas and $4 margaritas on Thursdays, along with live music on Thursdays and Saturdays. Baxter's American Grill, 100 Trade Center Drive in Champaign.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Duracon from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days, mortgage loans and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point with Ian Fitzsimmons and Mike Golick.
More on Aaron Judge and what we saw last night. How about this tidbit from Darren Ravel, Golick? He and Cody Bellinger, outstanding rookie from the Dodgers, they combined will make just over $1 million this year.
You would think a lot of these guys have shoe deals. You'd see them in more shoe commercials. You see the football or you see the basketball guys in shoe commercials all the time. You know, would that help? Would it behoove the shoe companies to get those guys in more commercials to get them out there as well? And you would think it would help the product as well, but you just don't see enough of the marketing. And it right now in a vacuum, I don't know how it can't be Aaron Judge. He's lived up to about everything you could possibly do. Hitting home runs, playing the field. I mean, it's really impressive what he has done. And last night you wanted to show and you got to show.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
I'm KFC's Extra Crispy Colonel, and you're the extra busy regular person who has to make dinner for a family of 4. But you can shirk that responsibility because my Extra Crispy $20 fill-up from KFC contains 8 pieces of freshly double-breaded extra crispy chicken, 4 biscuits, 2 orders of mashed potatoes, and a side of coleslaw for just $20. That'll feed them. KFC, it's extra crispy good.
Pricing and participation may vary. Tax and substitutions extra.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 4th Center Update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think their car insurance costs more. But with discounts up to 40%, you may find it even costs less. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign, Illinois at 217-367-1105 today. 3-star quarterback Trey Lowe has decided to go to West Virginia. The 6'3" Tennessee quarterback chose West Virginia over Houston, Memphis, and of course the Illini. Illinois only has 1 QB in this class with Peoria native Quran Taylor. The Home Run Derby was last night, and here is how it all went down. In the first round, Aaron Judge had to overcome a 22-homer round by Justin Bour. Then Judge hit 23 homers. In the second round, it was a battle of stud rookies. Bellinger hit 12 homers, and Judge bested him by 1 with 13. The championship was Miguel Sano of the Twins versus the Yankees' Aaron Judge. And Judge won the championship 11-10 over Sano. Every matchup of the tournament-style event was decided by 1 homer. 9 million people watched the show, and that's up 55% from last year's Derby. That's according to Forbes magazine. The All-Star Game is tonight, and it is not played for anything besides money. Every player on the winning team gets $20,000, and the losing team gets nothing. Home field advantage in the World Series will go to the team with the best record now. The pitching matchup for at least a few innings is Max Scherzer of the NL and Chris Sale for the AL. The All-Stars for the local teams are, for the Cardinals, pitcher Carlos Martinez and catcher Yadier Molina. For the Cubs, it's closer Wade Davis. This is the first time in MLB history where there is not a player who won the World Series in the year prior on the All-Star Game roster. And finally, for the White Sox, it's outfielder Abisail Garcia. And that, my friends, is the Sports Center Update.
Yeah, baby. Thank you, Austin. Hey, you can always win great Illini apparel, gear, and novelty items each week right here on the Tay and J Show. Play Game Day Spirits Wheel of Games in the 5 o'clock hour to win great Fighting Illini prizes. Are we going to try to do this today?
Yeah.
All right. Game Day Spirit located on Green Street on South Neal and online at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, proud sponsor of the ESPN 93.5's Tay and J Show, and, of course, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini. I, for one, very proud that we're teaming up with Game Day Spirit. Always great to have them in our corner. What a wonderful store, and one that I need to hit before football starts to update my Illini gear.
That's right. We're talking a lot of basketball today, even though it's All-Star break, and we will chat a little bit more baseball. Austin asked us to give us our wish list before the deadline for our team. So we'll do that for the Cardinals, Cubs, and the White Sox.
Okay.
As I think during the All-Star break, it gives these teams a little bit of time.
Kind of reset.
And these front offices to talk a little bit, not focused on their day-to-day with their major league teams. They can talk a little bit more trades, and I'm sure the White Sox will be one of those teams on the phone a lot.
Without a doubt.
Cubs being aggressive buyers out there. The Cardinals are the interesting
It's just a weird
one.
time. It's just been so long since the Cardinals have kind of been in this spot with regards to, all right, do we go out and get somebody to help us or do we sell? So we'll talk about that as we go along. Just heard from Brad Underwood, had his press conference today. Some good stuff talking about some of the freshmen and, of course, some of the what they're doing right now, not necessarily game planning, but fundamental work. as well. But obviously recruiting, Jeremy, always in the forefront. And one of the guys that knows all about it, and he joins us now on the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line, is Joe Henriksen from the City Suburban Hoops Report. Joe, how are you, my friend?
Hey, good, man. Hey, can I come back for the segment on the wish list for the White Sox you guys do?
Ooh, I like this.
Joe, you got your time.
Go.
What do we get for Quintana?
I just want something out of the Yankees farm system. Just give me 2 or 3 of those guys, and we're good.
Yeah, I would like that the Brewers, the Braves are involved, but I keep coming back to the Yankees, the Astros, and I like the Rockies, Joe, because of Brendan Rodgers. I'd be a big fan of getting him as a return.
Or Tucker with the Astros. Those are my wish list guys too.
I just love that 2 White Sox fans are excited about the future.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
Trading good. Right, because we see our former players starting the All-Star game. It still kind of hurts, but we finally picked a direction, so I think we're both happy about that.
And people would be amused by Jeremy and I's text exchanges over White Sox and minor league prospects.
Those probably need to be published.
It's probably just like, hey, Joe, can you come on the show? And then we talk. It's mostly texts about White Sox and which other team's prospects. But Joe, we do have the July recruiting period coming up. Just for people who don't know, I think we always assume people know. What is this and why is it so important?
Well, it's become much more important because the calendar has really shrunk over the years. And by that, I mean there's obviously only a certain amount of days that college coaches can be out watching players live with their AAU teams. And then there's a certain amount of days you can go out during the season and watch with their high school team. But they're obviously very, very busy during the high school season while they're with their own season. So you got your 2 weekends in April, which are a little bit shorter because of school, and that's Thursday or Fridays through Sundays. But then now here we got 3 weekends in a row where they start Wednesday night about 4 or 5 o'clock, and it goes all the way through Sunday at 4 or 5 o'clock. So, you get that window of 3 weekends, and it's just, it's imperative now for them to really get after it. And most of them have identified their, in this case, seniors, 2018s already, and they know who they want. They've made their offers. Now they kind of, there's some questions still to be answered or with some of those kids, but what they do is really those high majors particularly are then starting to peek ahead then to 2019 now in July as well. But, it's just, it's a hit or miss for me because I see kids that I really, really like, not all the time, but sometimes this happens, that you really love. And it's amazing the first few couple days on my July circuit here of the text exchanges I have with coaches after seeing a player for one time. All excited about a kid, and Wednesday night they'll say, not good enough, on to the next one. And they will move on. And that's the stuff I hate. And sometimes, oh my gosh, Joe, why weren't you talking about this kid? And Wednesday night, first day of July, the first time I see him, and I'll text back, just watch them a couple more times, and then by Friday they're off of them. It's just they get so hot and cold with kids, and it's part of that shrunken window of opportunity to evaluate. And that's why it's an underrated tool among college coaches. And there are some that I think do a great job, and some that don't. And the other thing is wasting time on kids that they can't get. That's another thing that happens between now and the fall visits following the July period.
Joe, I wanted to ask you about this Illinois staff, to no fault of their own, but how far behind are they compared to some of these other staffs, not only in the Big Ten, but around the country? How far behind is this staff going forward?
Well, I don't think they're far at all behind in-state. I mean, they made up some big ground quickly with some kids in Illinois. And obviously, out of state, I don't have self-admitted, don't have a great pulse on a lot of those recruitments from the outside people, that surround those kids as opposed to the Illinois kids. And, I talk to the Illinois staff here and there, but it's just, it's hard to really get a great grasp on how much makeup they had to do nationally. But locally here in Illinois, I don't think they missed a beat. I really don't, and that's why they're in such unbelievable position. for the top 3 or 4 prospects at Illinois. You go Ayo, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Finke, and George Condit. Those are my top 4. They are right there with each and every one of them. And so obviously the changeover has not impacted that at all. In fact, I think it helps locally, because when you're at a program in state and there's a little bit of a negative vibe and there are some struggles, it's really hard for that staff after a 4 or 5 or 6 year period window that's been completed to get those kids excited about a program that's in that kind of shape. Where you come over now, and I don't care what staff it is, Brad Underwood and his staff, I can go back to John Gross and his staff. When you are fresh, when you are new, and you've got this, you have no negativity, no baggage behind you that you have to cover up, and you have to, convince them of, hey, it's going to be different. This is, hey, it's a fresh start and it's legitimate. It's brand new, and there's no reason why the players and their people can't buy into that and believe in it, because it's actually true. And that's why I think you can make up a lot of ground in a hurry with any new staff. And again, I don't care if it's Brad Underwood, his staff, or any staff, as long as they're good quality coaches and know what they're doing, they're going to make up ground because they got that brand new thing to sell.
Joe Henderson, City Suburban Hoops Report, had some good stuff today, and in the first bullet in your column today, Joe, is about Ayo Dosunmu and how the state of Illinois, which is known for having great basketball, they haven't had a McDonald's All-American in back-to-back years, and that's the first time ever, I think, that's happened. Well, Ayo Dosunmu has a chance, and we saw John Gross chase some top prospects, some 5-star guys like Dosunmu, and I was going to ask you, are they wasting their time like John Gross did with some of those guys, but it sounds like they haven't.
Well, the second part, if I were to continue that piece, and I almost was going to talk about this, but I was getting a little lengthy, is, yes, the first part is, here we have Ayo Dosunmu in a position to be a McDonald's All-American, but the second part is his recruiting. Per his ranking, 21, I think, in Rivals, and 38 somebody, and 29 in somebody, per those rankings, the recruitment, if you really look at it, does not go quite along with those rankings. By that I mean, right now, Ayo Dosunmu has terrific high major options. There's no question about that. But you've got Kansas involved, but Kansas is heavy on 2 or 3 other point guards that are actually higher than Dosunmu. You got some other high quality programs, Ohio State again, they got the whole new fresh start thing there, and the Xaviers of the world and Creighton's. But I mean, you're missing the Dukes, the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas, the Villanovas, the Michigan States, the Indianas, that's kind of lacking in his recruitment. So that bodes well for a program like Illinois. I don't know. They're not wasting their time at all with Ayo Dosunmu because, again, his recruitment it hasn't been at that level of what you'd expect. Let's take his highest ranking, the 21st ranked player in the country at a premium position. And so I think that's why Illinois is in very good shape with Ayo because of that, and they just made a lot of headway as we spoke about in the opening.
A lot's changed for Tim Finke.
Yes.
It feels like Roger Powell and Bryce Drew at Vanderbilt have done a great job there, but Notre Dame's taken a couple guards, and Illinois with this system, and it seems like Michael is really energized by this new system because I feel like he's going to be used correctly. But it seems like Tim Finke, Illinois has become a much bigger player.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a very interesting timeline with Finke and Taylor Horton-Tucker because, I mean, Illinois coaches haven't said this obviously publicly, but I mean, or to me privately, but I'm just saying that I can't see them, and maybe they will, but I just can't see them taking them both.
Agreed.
In this class. Maybe they will, but I just don't see it. So it kind of becomes a first guy at it. Now, that can change with how things go on the other fronts of some other recruitments of some national guys. But, Finke, obviously he was, and that's why I'm always careful about young rankings of freshmen and sophomores, particularly national rankings. I mean, if you remember back about 18 months, Finke was pretty much a consensus top 30 prospect in the country, and, he's clinging into their top 100 now. But, yeah, I mean, I think Finke and Taylor Horton-Tucker, I mean, they're pretty much interchangeable in my rankings, but I've got Horton Tucker just because I think he can do a few more things on the floor as opposed to Finke. But they're interchangeable, and they're both high major prospects that Illinois is front and center for both of them. I don't think Taylor Horton Tucker is going to go very far away from home. I think right now I know he liked Ohio State a lot, but they just took a commitment. So it's Illinois is in great shape right there with Taylor Horton Tucker. I really do believe that. And then obviously Finke is. You've got all those obvious ties and connections, and that there you go back to what we talked about earlier, the fresh start. I think that made a huge difference in the whole Finke recruitment.
Visiting with Joe Henriksen, City Suburban Hoops Report. Follow him on Twitter at Joe Hoops Report. The other guy, because you kind of talked about Tucker and Finke there, and of course we've mentioned Io. You said in your top 4 is George Condit. A bigger kid, obviously, like Jeremy and I talked about, not really penciling or pigeonholing these kids into certain spots, but a kid that can get up and down the court. What do we know about Condit? What are Illinois? What are you thinking they're doing with that?
That's interesting. I think the longer it goes with George Condit, it's the disadvantage of Condit because I put Condit, not Illinois, because I think Illinois would move on from Condit if they can get somebody bigger or not better, bigger but better than George Condit at this point, a little bit more proven. I don't think he's a kid that Illinois will sit and wait on because he is a little bit down the road projection wise, and that's all it's about, guys. George Condit. I wrote about my piece today. He has 25 plus offers, and I don't know exactly how many of those have not seen him, but I would be willing to bet at least 18 to 20 of those schools have never seen George Condit play in live person. And because I know because I was out in April telling some coaches to go watch and here and there, and nobody knew him, nobody heard of him. I mean, all of us were late on him because he played in an obscure, conference in the public league, and he was a late bloomer, grew 3 inches, da-da-da. And here we are from April till June is kind of when he went nuts as far as, people like myself and other guys kind of blowing him up. So it's amazing to me how this recruiting goes that he has not been seen. And he is going to have a whole bunch of eyes on him in July. And for a nondescript AAU team that's not playing in high profile, events, he's not on the EYBL or Under Armour, he's not doing any of that, not even on the Adidas. So it's just all about projection and what you think George Condit can be in 3 years. And because he's not ready. I mean, he is an enormous talent, though. He's just it's a different type of prospect. He's 6'10", going on 6'11", and he's too big, too agile, too coordinated, and too skilled not to be a high major. But as all these high majors I've talked to, it's the same conversation. God, what is he going to be in 3 years? Because he just hasn't played enough. High-level basketball, he hasn't played. Nobody knows how high level he competes at. All that will be learned a little bit in July, I think. But again, it's not so much taking a flyer on him as opposed, because I think he's going to be a player. It's just a matter of how long are you willing to wait at a high major for him to be a player. A program on the hot seat doesn't want to really take a flyer on a kid that they hope is good in 3 years down the road, as opposed to somebody. I think it's perfect for Illinois because they don't have to win next year or the year after. I mean, I know Illinois fans want that, but there's a little bit more of a comfort level there as far as taking a kid like that.
And seeing a kid like DJ Wilson just go off, I just love that skill set, that length, that athleticism. It's really intriguing down the road. All right, Joe, 2019-2020, what are the biggest storylines you're looking forward to for the in-state kids there? I know you love EJ Liddell, and anyone who's seen him loves him.
Jeremy.
I mean, I love everything this kid's about, man. And, right now, I think it's going to be an absolute dogfight war between Missouri and Illinois until, you look at him, and then I don't want to tick off all the Illinois fans listening, and you look at Michigan State and a player at Michigan. I've never seen a guy who just embodies a Michigan State Tom Izzo player. And they haven't even called on E.J. Liddell, so there you go. But I just think his recruitment is going to, between now and next spring, maybe not this July, because a lot of these juniors are still, I wrote this in my piece too today, they're still coming along, they're still, learning the ropes a little bit of what it takes, and then I always see kids explode during that junior year, and he's the one kid that I just absolutely love. I love his makeup. I love his physicality. I love his budding skill level as far as facing up and knocking shots down. And he's just a man-child on the block. A little undersized, and he's not a freak athlete. But despite, he's a good athlete. He's good enough. And he's tall enough to still be an impact-dominating player at a high major level. I think him ranked in I wrote this as, if there's 95 players better than him in the class is either phenomenal nationally or they're just missing the boat and hasn't been seen yet. But, Francis Okoro is the number one player. Liddell is number two, and I don't think there's much distance between the two. They're separated nationally rankings-wise quite a bit, but I think Liddell is just right there with him. And Okoro is still a project. He's a man. He's 6'10" with a body that college coaches just salivate over, and he's got a pretty good motor, and he's very coachable. So if somebody who is very good at big man development in their staff and coaching staff, they can get their hands on him, you got something. So those are the top two guys without question in that group.
When we need big podcast numbers, we bring on Joe Hendrickson. We know it's going to deliver. City Suburban Hoops Report. Joe, it's always a pleasure, buddy. Love the information. As always, we'll do it again soon.
I'll text you tonight about the Sox rumors.
Right.
Yeah, we'll get on about July 30th, and we'll get ready for that trade deadline.
Absolutely. That's what we need. We need Joe on, not to just talk basketball. We need Sox talk. Hey, Joe, thanks, buddy.
Hey, thanks, guys.
See you, Joe.
Good stuff. As always, Joe Hendrickson. That's some exciting things.
A lot to break down. Let's do it when we come back.
Okay, that's fair enough, because there are some questions I have for you as well. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. I fumbled the football. I'm picking it up now. It's the Tay and J Show.
The 2017 Champaign County Fair returns to the Champaign County Fairgrounds Friday, July 21st through Saturday, July 29th. Enjoy fair food and carnival rides, live music in the beer pavilion, and tons of events at the grandstand. Friday, it's Division II Midget Series racing. Saturday at the fair, it's Military Day with the Classic and Custom Car and Truck Show and the Demolition Derby at 6 p.m. Family and Agricultural Day takes place Sunday at the fair. And new this year, the IPRA Rodeo presented by Wooten Rodeo Company at the grandstand at 5:30. Monday, it's Livestock Day and the Big Talent Show. Tuesday at the fairgrounds, don't miss harness racing. Wednesday, July 26th at the Champaign County Fairgrounds, the Dick Andre Memorial Race. Thursday, it's 4-H and Youth Day. Then Friday, live music from country stars Chris Young and Drew Baldridge on the Craig's Concrete Stage. Then the fair wraps up Saturday, July 29th with tractor pulls all day long. Kids and families will love Bracelet Day. Unlimited rides on Sunday, July 23rd, Tuesday, July 25th, and Saturday, July 29th. Go to ChampaignCountyFair.cc for more information. That's ChampaignCountyFair.cc. Go to ChampaignCountyFair.cc.
The Urbana Park District presents Neighborhood Nights all summer long through August 9th. This Wednesday, July 12th, we'll be out at Ambucks Park. Listen to the music of Craig Russo Latin Jazz Project from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Join us for free popcorn and lemonade, fun activities. You can meet Urbana Park District officials. And we want to thank our sponsors, SJ Broadcasting, Urbana Moms, First Federal, the Urbana Parks Foundation, and CUMTD. For details, you can visit our website at urbanaparks.org.
Pekin Insurance and your local independent agent are committed to providing the best coverage options and the best service possible. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at PekinInsurance.com and on social media. Check them out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Pekin Insurance. It's a great way to learn more about insurance for your auto, home, life, or business. You'll stay up to date with important announcements. Plus, they'll throw in a few fun facts along the way. For beyond the expected information, follow Pekin Insurance on Facebook today.
Looking for a low-risk way to make your money work for you at a higher interest rate than a savings account? Then invest in the Send It Flying CD Special at the Prospect Bank. A $3,000 minimum to open, your money can earn 1.25% APY for a 24-month term. At one point during the term, you have the option to send your money flying when the APY increases. Visit theprospectbank.com for full details. The Prospect Bank, a division of Edgar County Bank and Trust Company, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Napa know-how. The Napa Legend battery does legendary things, like starting your car when the heat index hits $125. or making sure your AC stays running like a gazelle. And now, when you buy a Napa Legend battery, you'll get a prepaid Visa card by mail worth $15. $15 back and a new battery? That's not just legendary. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 7/31/17.
I'm Chris Drummond, owner of Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. Since 2006, we've provided the best professional carpet cleaning in the Champaign-Urbana area. At Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning, we use the Rotovac carpet restoration system to assure the best carpet and upholstery cleaning service. For just $99, we offer carpet cleaning for 3 rooms or 4 rooms at $29.95 per room. Google Drummond Carpet Cleaning and see what our customers have been saying, or call for a free estimate at 217-722-3663. Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. If we didn't clean it, it isn't clean.
Sure, we've been called a mom and pop store. We take it as a compliment. After all, we are family owned and operated with 2 generations actively involved, and 5 of our team members have been with us for around 20 years each or longer. We run our business with old-fashioned customer service as our foundation, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Add our great selection of hand-picked mattresses, all proudly made in the USA at guaranteed lowest prices, and we're sure you won't find a better deal anywhere. Visit us and experience the Illini mattress difference today.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What'll he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Harry lives. Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay, Jeremy Warner.
We figured out Lon is ahead of me technologically in one way.
Yes. When did Snapchat come out?
A couple years ago.
Okay. I just got on it.
But you use it.
I do now for Andrew.
Yeah.
So my 10-year-old and I have been Snapchatting all day. This morning it started out with, "Hi, Lon." I'm like...
He's doing that now? He's calling you Lon?
How about Dad, you little punk? But yeah, so he'll send me these goofy pictures all day.
I have a Snapchat. I have no idea how to use it. I need a young kid to tell me. Like, I feel old now. I officially feel 30. Right. I need a young kid to teach me a new technology.
I have watched you grow up, and now I'm watching you in your elderly days, it seems. It is funny because the Snapchat thing, you and I have talked about this. We are only good for 2 social medias.
I do Twitter, Facebook, and I go, that's enough.
That's enough. And so this Snapchat thing is a little tricky for me, but if it's just Andrew and I think I'm fine with it.
That's kind of cool. It's like a direct line to your son.
Because he's sending me these goofy pictures, and we all know Andrew is goofy.
Yeah.
So it's just simple, and it just gives me a laugh all day.
You were talking during the break about good stuff from Joe Hendrickson, but about how Illinois is sitting really well with recruits. Now, haven't we felt this before?
Yes.
Like you had Juwan Evans and Jalen Brunson coming to campus. And you're like, you're sitting well. You can pressure these guys. That's where I sit with like Finke and Horton Tucker.
Right.
I do think Illinois will sign one of those guys.
Okay.
But it's sitting there like, you got to land one first.
Right?
You still got to land one.
You still need one of those. You need a wing. It used to be we had so many.
But we haven't heard that from Joe, who's an unbiased observer here and is so plugged in. We haven't heard him that optimistic about some top targets for Illinois in state in a while.
Would agree. And I think Brad Underwood, and I liked the way he said, it was kind of what I was referring to a little bit, in the fact that you've got a new staff here, and it's kind of given some new energy for some of these. And obviously with Tim Finke, you didn't have a shot with John Gross.
Well, that's a lot of system.
Yes. Well, no,
I think
fair.
System really helped. But yeah, there's a breath of fresh air. But I do think system mattered so much for him. That's why Notre Dame and Vanderbilt have done well.
Real quick, explain Liddell and Okura. Is that how you say it?
Okoro. Francis Okoro is 6'10", 200.
He's a Bloomington kid?
He's at Normal West.
Oh, Normal West, yeah.
Normal West, and he's a freak.
Okay.
He'll be a 5-star, high 4-star kind of guy. Where every program in the country will be in there, but he's raw, right? He's pretty raw, but he can rebound, block shots, dunk.
I think he played soccer and stuff coming up, so maybe you send Ebo over there and say, let's chat.
And then E.J. Liddell is like a bigger version of Jordan Goodwin.
Wow.
Like a taller, like he's like 6'6", 6'7".
Okay.
But just a kid that's really come along really well.
Okay.
Good skill set. Scored 40 points, I believe it was, against Jeremiah Tillman in East St. Louis. But he's just a junkyard dog. Kind of everything you'd wanted LaRon Black to be.
Right.
He's a more productive version of that in high school.
That is cool. Far. That's cool. A couple names to look for.
But that'll be an Illinois-Mizzou battle, most likely.
Ooh. All right. We'll see how it works. Listen, this bragging rights game's getting better every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Next hour is going to be fun. We're going to hear from Tijon Lucas. Jeremy had a chance to catch up with him today. We'll do drive time, of course. We are going to do Tay's Take. If you want to send a question in, get it to Jeremy at J Warner Scout. You can tweet at him at J Warner Scout, or you can text the Chief Bauer text line 359-2255. That will be for Tay's Take. We also need to talk a little bit about the All-Star game tonight. Anything of interest that we're looking for in that besides the players winning $20,000? Good for them. And if we get time, a trade wish list for your team, White Sox, Cubbies, and Cardinals. If we don't, we'll push that down the road. It's that type of week. This is what you do. So if you want to weigh in, again, 359-2255. Hour 3 next. Tay and J Show.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
It's Lon Tay from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street, just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks.
Hey, Sue, check out these sandals. I don't wear sandals. They're so cute.
Dry, cracked feet? Carousel Intensive Foot Repair doesn't just cover. Carousel removes hard, dry skin, then deeply moisturizes and actually repairs. Feet look good so fast you see a visible difference in just one day.
Sue, you look great in these sandals. Get them. Yeah.
Carousel Intensive Foot Repair in the foot care aisle. See the one-day difference.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign, Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
He says he appreciates the transparency. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. That's a response on Twitter to Donald Trump Jr. from his father, releasing what Jr. says are complete emails about a meeting with a Russian lawyer offering compromising information about Hillary Clinton last June.
Throughout the day, strong reaction on Capitol Hill with new calls for those at the June 2016 meeting to meet with congressional investigators. The new allegations that Donald Trump Jr. was told the information was from a Russian government source underscore the need to get everyone on the record. Donald Trump Jr., presidential advisor Jared Kushner, and former campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Before today's release, the three men, through their lawyers or their spokesmen, promised to cooperate with the Senate Intelligence Committee.
It's Fox's Catherine Harris. The New York Times reports Trump Jr. released the emails after being told they were coming out in the paper soon. We're told that 7 of the 16 service members killed in a plane crash in Mississippi yesterday were special operations forces based in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. None of them have been publicly identified by name. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. A man who may be involved in the disappearance of 4 men in Pennsylvania is in custody already for something else. The latest live from Fox's Gernal Scott.
Chris, a search of nearly 100 acres of farmland north of Philadelphia has not yet yielded any clues in the disappearance last week of 4 men, but Bucks County DA Matt Weintraub says he has reason to believe the painstaking search should be focused there.
We want to be careful not to miss the tiniest piece of evidence.
A person of interest is also being investigated. Cosmo DiNardo is jailed on $1 million bond, not for the disappearance, but for a separate weapons charge. DiNardo's parents do own the property being searched, Chris.
Colonel, thanks. A woman shot by officers investigating a crash on a North Carolina interstate has now died. The officers say Tina Medlin was lying on the ground and fired a gun at them when they arrived Saturday morning. Fox News, fair and balanced.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing. Get 0% financing for 72 months plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in. It's summer's hottest deal on vehicles like Ford Fusion, Escape, Mustang, and Explorer. Offer ends July 31st. Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, and save big across a full lineup of Ford vehicles. Get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Hurry into the summer sales event going on now only at your Ford dealer. Best selling based on 2016 sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Trade assist cash requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle or lease terminated 30 days prior to or 90 days after delivery. Not available on Mustang Shelby GT350, GT350R. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details. Take new retail delivery from dealer stock by July 31st, 2017.
New York City. The funeral today for Officer Mia Sotis Familia, shot and killed sitting in her police vehicle last week. The flag covering her coffin was presented to her 12-year-old son. He has two sisters, a twin, the other's 20. The man who murdered Officer Familia was shot and killed by other officers. On Wall Street today, the Dow up 0.5 point, the S&P down 1, the NASDAQ was up 16.
Stocks on Wall Street finished mixed. Earlier in the day, markets got spooked on the Donald Trump Jr. emails. Later in the day, we saw the markets pop back into the green when Senator Mitch McConnell said that they were pushing off the recess for Congress in August by 2 weeks, and that gave some positive news to the market. We also watched Amazon very closely on its third day ever of Prime Day. Well, Amazon finished down 0.25%, but this year is up 33%. On the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, Nicole Petalides, Fox News.
The Summer Olympics are coming back to the United States in either 7 or 11 years.
Paris and Los Angeles are the only cities in the running for 2024, and one of them will get it. The other city will host the 2028 Games. Not many cities wanted this responsibility, and some even withdrew after initially submitting their bids. Evidence of cost overruns in prior games had a deterring effect. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti said before the decisions made in September, both cities have to assess their resources.
Whoever goes first has an opportunity to move and take the first step, and whoever goes second will have a responsibility to take that even further. And both will have to have the resources necessary through their own fundraising, through the IOC and others, to make that happen.
LA last hosted the Games in 1984. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Baseball All-Star Games tonight in Miami. Max Scherzer from the Nationals starts for the National League. Chris Sale from Boston starts for the American League team. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News Radio.
We are making ground here.
So I have signed up for. I've already signed up for Snapchat.
You had it.
I'm learning how to use it.
Yes.
So
we brought the kids in.
Yeah.
And they've
like,
been
Austin,
telling us.
How do I send a Snapchat?
Right.
It's like, how do I use the tweeter? Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast.
I'm going to take a picture of you and Snapchat
Brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS, or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Should I add Shane Hireman?
No, because he's stealing our recruits now.
We'll see how many.
No.
Tonight, partly cloudy, low 71. Tomorrow, hot and humid, high 95, low 76. Thursday, chance of thunderstorms, high 88, a low 67. Right now, mostly sunny, 84. Feels like 93. It's getting hot in Champaign-Urbana.
And here. Are you want to talk more Snapchat or you want to do drive time?
No,
okay.
it's just Snapchat.
Okay, hold on. It's interesting, some of the people that have Snapchat, some of the people you would not think. I said, if you find out Lauren Tate's got Snapchat, then I'm out.
I was kind of surprised Bob Osmondson had Snapchat.
I think Bob, he's a funny dude.
Now, I don't know how much he uses it.
Right. Because I think I've had it installed for a while, but I don't think I ever used it.
So I added a bunch of people from my contacts. So going through your contacts and finding out who's actually in your thing. Because I've been covering recruiting for a while. I had like Gary Harris in my contacts.
Max got some
Bielfeldt,
cool stuff. Yeah.
Brad Beal.
Oh, that's awesome.
I used to talk to him when he was in high school.
How cool is that? You should just add him and see if they add.
Yeah.
So so if I add Austin, if I add you, then you have to accept me? I assume. Yes, that is the case. All right. So I can send out to all these people. There's one on here that just says mommy. I think I'm going to avoid that one.
Is that not your mother?
No, I don't. No, I don't think Mom is on Snapchat.
By the way, this is supposed to be Drive Time, brought to you by Honda BMW Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampagne.com. So I've signed up. Now where do I go?
I don't know. I don't even have you added. Like,
No.
I've got to add you.
I didn't even see you in my contacts.
Do I tell you what my name is?
Now, do I have to create a Bitmoji?
We got to get Austin on the mic here. Austin, you got to help us out.
Yeah, because
Austin and Maddie
us
and
old men
guys
do
are-
not understand
Jacob.
this. Is it? Do I need to create a Bitmoji?
You do not need to create a Bitmoji, but they are fun. You can
They
put
look
those in
kinda
your-
cool.
You can put those in your Snapchats too, so you can share your emotion with Snapchat your feelings. So it adds a level of fun to
Okay.
it. You can dress them up into your favorite basketball team, your favorite baseball team, or dress them up in a suit.
Okay, so I'm on this page, which is the home page, right?
Yes.
Where do I go from here? Like, what do I do?
So you swipe up from there.
I can't even get to that home page.
Swipe down, actually. Swipe down. Are you at your camera yet?
I'm at my camera.
All right, you swipe down.
So what do you want to take a photo of?
Lawn.
Okay, take a photo of lawn.
Yeah.
And then go to that little blue triangle that says send.
Yes.
Go send it, and then you can put it on your story, which every one of your friends can see.
Bam! That's what I just did with Jeremy's.
Or you can just send it to one person. So you can send it to Lon, you can send it to me, you can send it to anybody.
This is cool.
And then they can disappear within 1 second or 10 seconds.
Whoa! Is that why Snapchat was invented?
So that just sends it out to everybody if I have to create a story.
Yeah, it sends it out to everybody. It's on there for 24 hours.
Okay.
And then after that, then you can send just regular one-time snaps.
It's going to take me some time, guys.
Right.
I got to figure this thing out.
Because I need to add you.
I feel like I have buyer's remorse signing up for another social
Right.
media. Like, I really don't need this in my
Especially
life.
with recruiting, like following Mark Allstork, like I know exactly what he's up to. Like he's always at the sauna, he's always at the gym, or he's studying. That's his 3 snaps. I can guarantee you every day.
I just added Jeremy.
Yes, Juan is now
And
on
my
my
son.
Snapchat.
All right, so now should I add my son? I'm not sure. That might be one of those where he goes, Dad, really?
Your other son.
My other son. Yeah, I've already got Andrew. This is kind of cool. How bad is it that Maddie quit yelling in there? We can hear you. How bad is it that you and I are just now jumping on the Snapchat? I want to. Can
This
you Google
craze.
real quick to see when Snapchat actually came about?
I can do that.
Because I know for me, this is always such an issue because when Twitter you were like, Lon, you've got to get on Twitter. I'm like, how much does it cost?
So apparently I'm in a group already.
You're already in a group?
My college friends have a group called Bros, and once I signed up,
They're probably like, where have you been?
my buddy Doug said, "No way, I don't believe it."
Yes.
Rob Nash, my buddy, had an O face, like, "Oh my god."
Oh, yeah.
And then Adam said, "I didn't believe it either. We may be catfished." So they've been waiting for me to join Snapchat for a long time. I told them, no.
This is fantastic.
I finally have signed up for Snapchat.
It was created in September of 2011, but I'm sure that was just a minor release, probably
so we're gonna
in
say like
alpha or in beta stages.
So 2012.
So I mean,
into
2013 probably.
So we're only like 4 years
So
behind.
what is the upside of Snapchat?
The upside of Snapchat is that pictures disappear immediately. So
I can send pictures of certain areas of my body.
And they'll disappear.
That's why this was created,
Correct.
right?
I mean, it was created for an innocent aspect of it, but
can
then
I take a snapshot of it on my phone?
yes, but the other person is told about that.
Oh,
so.
I mean that's the point. But I mean, then you know that the other person has that photo.
Oh, so you better send it to somebody you know then.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what you're
it
saying.
sounds like it. All right, so
That's not imminently going to break up with you.
trying to get to my story, but I don't know. This stuff.
I'll teach you that at the next break.
Okay.
Austin and I, he's taught me a lot about phones.
There's a lot of apps that everybody can use.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a guy that only added the Uber app about a month ago.
Oh, dude, that
Uber
one on
is the
vacation.
best.
I know.
Or for when you're, like when I go on road trips to go cover Illinois football or
That makes
basketball or
sense.
something like that, it's phenomenal.
You just Uber and instead of having to take your own. That's a great idea.
And plus taxiing, I mean, this nothing against the taxi drivers, but to know exactly where your car is at and you don't have to worry about people picking you up in 50 minutes or 20 minutes, it's a great help.
It's a good move. And I found out it's only like $20 from Champaign or Urbana to Philo.
Oh,
so that's solid.
It's $50 from Champaign to Paxton.
Oh, okay.
I've not done that, but I've heard from friends.
That's one of those where, but
Hey,
if you need it,
could be worth it.
I was gonna say if you need it, it's
Could be
really
worth
handy. We've got Austin on here. Do you want to do the baseball thing?
Let's talk baseball. If
Okay.
you missed earlier in the show, we heard from Brad Underwood. Great stuff with Joe Hendrickson as well. We talked about Aaron Judge, how just he's got this freakish quality that draws us in kind of like Bo Jackson did.
Yes,
or
I agree.
like LeBron or Kevin Durant do, in that it's weird to see a 6'8", 270-pound guy do what LeBron does. Or it's weird to see a 7-footer like Kevin Durant be able to shoot like he does.
They make it look so easy.
Right. I mean, there's a video game quality. Even Steph Curry. There's a video game quality to what he does that Aaron Judge brings to baseball. I don't know how many guys in baseball have that. Like Billy Hamilton has it.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, when he gets on base, you stop everything to watch.
If he were actually good at getting on base, he'd be one of those guys we'd want to watch.
Yes.
Because he's a freak when it comes to speed. There's not many of those guys in baseball, but Aaron Judge not only is a productive player, and not only is in a Yankees uniform, but he's got this freakish quality to him. And I'm saying this in a positive way, that just it could be, for baseball, this huge boon that they didn't really need, but he can draw in fans who aren't really all that interested in baseball.
This may be a little bit of a reach, but Alex Rodriguez had that a little bit when he started, because he was this tall, back in the day, the shortstops were Ozzie Smith, right? And then all of a sudden you start seeing Walt Weiss, good call. Then all of a sudden, you start, Barry Larkin was a little bit bigger version of a shortstop, and that was kind of the evolution. Then all of a sudden you've got shortstops that are 6'8". And doing what, I don't know how tall Alex Rodriguez is, but he's pretty tall. And it's like, how is a guy that tall even able to play that and be that mobile and reach down and make plays and range like they do? But Aaron Judge is definitely one of those guys. And like we talked about, he's doing it in the spotlight in New York. That's not easy. But what's working for him, and I think what worked for him, is that it's all hunky-dory right now. So it's gotten off to a great start.
Well, and last night was like the crowning achievement.
Boom.
But it's the home run derby. It's not a playoff game, all that.
That is correct. And we'll see how that affects him in the second half of the season. Can he continue to hit and do what he's doing for another half of a season?
Would it be going too far to say some pitchers have it like
Max Scherzer? Well, I want to watch Max Scherzer.
I think Sale, because his delivery is so weird.
Right.
But Kershaw, because of that.
Yes, I agree.
That curveball, the weird delivery, the kick that he's got in the middle of it, you almost want to watch it, but you got to be productive.
You know who had that years ago? Fernando Valenzuela.
Yeah.
That pitched for the Dodgers, because he would always look up in the air as he pitched, and it was one of those where it's like, I got to see this to believe this. Yeah. So he was one of those guys that had that. Dan Quisenberry back in the day, Kent Tekulve, I'm going way back here. Kent Tekulve basically threw from the ground. By the time he pitched, he was almost rubbing his hand on the ground, and it was when he pitched, you were just like, oh my gosh, how does he even do that?
If Pat Venditti was good, he can throw right and lefty.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
That guy that's down in the minors, that just isn't really good enough to put you in the majors.
Neshek kind of has that. Pat Neshek kind of has that weird. But we were going to ask, like, all right, so a trade wish, right?
Your trade wish list.
Okay, do you want to do that today?
Yeah, let's do that. If you can think of, like, I'll think of the top three Quintana packages that I like. Austin, your top three starting pitchers. And then Juan, your three top targets, which could be anything.
Right.
For the Cardinals.
For us.
So I'll start with the White Sox.
Okay.
My number one would probably be the Rockies.
Okay.
Brendan Rodgers is a top 10 prospect for them. Plays second, shortstop, could probably play third as well. I think the Rockies make a lot of sense as somebody who can buy a controllable arm, a cheap arm, that gives them some veteran at the top of that rotation that long-term can help them. They have a good farm system. Trevor Story, I don't know how high they are on him. I don't know if they'll want to trade Brendan Rodgers, but I do think that guy as the start of a package really intrigues me. Two would be the Yankees.
Okay.
And I think you could buy a little low here, because the Yankees see that the AL is wide open.
Right.
They have Aaron Judge. They just need some starting pitching help, and obviously their bullpen needs to come back and be good again. But if they had Jose Quintana at the top of the rotation, plus they're not going to have Gleyber Torres probably for the rest of this year. They're not going to have him the rest of the year, right?
Agree.
So can you get Gleyber Torres out of them?
That would be interesting.
And then maybe a Chase Adams, I believe his name is, a starting pitcher, and another outfield prospect. Blake Rutherford, I know the White Sox really liked last year in the draft. That would be my second. Third, the Braves have a lot. I mean, I don't think the Cubs are going to be involved. The Brewers really intrigue me.
Okay.
I don't know if they trade Lewis Brinson. He would be the guy I'd want to start that package, but that team makes a lot of sense.
It does. And it seems like they're interested.
They got outfield and starting pitch, or they got outfield and pitching prospects, which is what the White Sox are going to want.
They've done it before too. The Brewers have done this before with was it Santana?
Well, no, it was Greinke and Sabathia.
Yeah, Sabathia. That's right, and Greinke. That's right. So they have kind of a a history at least of doing stuff like that. Austin, I'll go real quick for the Cardinals. This is a guy that we talked about a long time ago, and I kind of scoffed and said, I think that's crazy. And then Kevin Wheeler and us, we talked about it a little bit more, and now it came out kind of in the Post-Dispatch a little bit about, would this be the guy? And that's Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton.
I think he makes so much sense.
He makes so much sense for the Cardinals.
I know it's a scary contract, but...
Right, it's a scary contract, and you're giving up a lot. You're giving up a lot. Probably Carson Kelly, maybe Delvin Perez.
I don't think they're giving up Kelly. I do think they give up Perez.
And probably
Weaver, Bader.
Yeah, probably Bader. I mean, I'm for it. I think if you could get a guy like him, I know he's got the injury problem, and that scares me.
But he's what, 25?
Yeah, he's young.
He's 25.
He's young,
and he's not going. That skill, that talent is not going away.
No, you might scoff at this next one, and I've got two here. This is my second one. The guy that I've always loved is Evan Longoria from the Tampa Rays. I've always loved that guy. And right now, Jed Jerko, give it to him. I mean, he's playing unbelievable at third base. As I look down, in the future at third base, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, who's our third baseman of the future? I'm not sure. And
is Evan Longoria a future
That's
guy?
The problem, is that you'd have him maybe for a couple of more, 3-4 more years. And I know his contract. I know his contract's up there. But I've always loved that guy. And I've always wondered, what you could get him for now if the Rays wanted to sell.
Hit 36 home runs last year. 12 this year. He's 31.
He's 31,
He's hitting 257 with a 318 on base percentage.
Yeah.
He's going to make...
Yeah, that's the problem here.
He's signed through the 2023 season.
Oh.
Which is an option, but he makes 13.5 next year, 14.5 the year after that. That's paying a lot of money to a guy who's wrong side of 30.
I agree with that. But there's something about him that interests me.
He screams Cardinals.
Yeah, he does. That's probably the biggest thing. And then Marcell Ozuna would be number 3. I think another guy off the Marlins. They need somebody in the middle of that lineup. Longoria doesn't necessarily fit that unless he's going to hit 36 like he did last year. But Stanton is the guy. If you could go get that, you have now answered your power hitter for the next 8 years.
And if you can get the Marlins to eat some of that money.
Without a doubt. If
it were like, $4 to $5 million a year, you'd be giving up some better prospects because of it. But I think that contract, he's worth that. I think contracts are only going to go up.
Agree.
And if you want a difference maker in the middle of the lineup, there's few that are as good as him.
And there's always chances, and you have to look at the history and you have to understand where they're at with regards to injuries, and he's had a lot of them. But you have to take the chance, I think, on a guy like that and see what could happen, because he would absolutely answer the bill.
Here's the other thing we were talking about with Judge. I know it's all about winning games, but there is a go to the ballpark to see Giancarlo Stanton.
Without a doubt. I mean, who do you go to the ballpark now to see for the Cardinals?
You don't.
Carlos, when he pitches?
He's probably the best. And I love Matt Carpenter.
Yeah.
But Carlos Martinez is the biggest star quality on the team.
Without a doubt. All right, Cubbies, Mr. Berkland, what do you think?
All right, I have 3 guys right here. My number 1 is Michael Fulmer. I've fallen in love with him. I know he's only 24 years old. He's a free agent in 2023, arbitration eligible 2019. That seems like a long shot right now, but if the Cubs can maybe get a D. Gordon to start that off, then they can trade Javi Baez, who is probably the best trade value of those young players besides the Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo.
Why would the Tigers do that?
I don't know.
I think you'd have to go up Schwarber and somebody.
Yeah,
and Schwarber and Baez.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is maybe they've seen what the New York Mets have gone through with building around a young starting pitching crew.
Fair enough.
And they want to build around position players and not starting pitchers.
I tell you what, I would not want to be the Tigers.
No.
You talk about old guys, a bunch of money. They aren't going
They're kind of in a corner right now.
Oh, man.
I mean, they
locked
tried.
themselves into that
They
corner.
tried. They gave it a heck of a run.
I do want to correct myself. Stanton is 27.
Oh, okay.
He's going to turn 28 in November, so he'll start next season as 28-year-old.
Somebody asked me, did I mean Eva Longoria? That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. If we want to take her as well, that's fine.
Fulmer would make sense for the Cubs. I mean, I would give up Schwarber for Fulmer.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would too.
And then the second guy I have is Marcus Stroman. He's a guy that's going to cost probably an Eloy Jimenez and more package. But he is so young. He's a free agent in 2021. He has a 3.28 ERA this year, a 1.264 WHIP. He's a guy that has that franchise ace swagger to him, and I think the Cubs would really embrace him. Chris Bosio could fix some of his flaws as a pitcher because he's so young, and a guy like that would fit so well in with the Cubs culture that they have going on right now.
Fair enough.
If it took Eloy, Javi Baez, and a pitcher in your farm system, would you do that?
I would probably do that.
I would
because you can always find young position players with the international signing period. I know it's changed since the new CBA, but I think that the Cubs would do that because Marcus Stroman is that valuable.
You got to trade one of those position players.
You do. Well, right.
My number 3, if you wanted a cheaper option, I would probably go Justin Verlander. Just because he could be that Lackey version that the Cardinals have seen with John Lackey.
I got you.
A 3-year rental, I would say, because you don't know what he's going to be in that last year, so you could DFA him, and then
I'm showing up at Wrigley more often.
And then you could sign the Cubs. The Cubs could sign a younger starting pitcher, and then offseason like a Yu Darvish or something along those lines.
I'm showing up more often if Verlander's on the Cubs.
Kate Upton with a Cubs hat on, that'd be really cool.
I would be fine with the Cubs. I would be fine talking to her with a Cubs hat on.
Hey, maybe an interview with Kate Upton.
Maybe. Hey, since I'm in the Evan Longoria old age guy, how about Troy Tulowitzki? What's he up to
Evan
these
Longoria
days?
is really close to my age. Right? Tulowitzki's having a terrible year.
What can you imagine if they had him and Evan there at third? So that's your left side of the infield.
Tulowitzki hitting 250, 302 on base, 398 slugging.
Oh my. Okay. Never mind on those guys.
You don't want to touch
They're
him.
getting too old.
Yeah.
And a lot of money for him.
A lot of money in there.
A lot of money. That's interesting. Some of those Rockies though, man. How about Blackmon? Would they get rid of him?
No.
I was going to say they're not going to. I mean, Colorado is playing well this year, and it'll be interesting to see.
Well, and you mentioned
what they do.
Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa's a wild card spot right now.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, they're not getting rid of anybody.
No, I think they're pretty good set on getting a wild card too because their pitching's pretty good.
Who's the kid that played at Parkland? I know he's hurt.
Kevin Kiermaier.
Kiermaier, yeah. That would be interesting. Although the Cardinals, I'm not sure where he would fit. I don't know if he's better than Piscotty.
You need a bat.
Yeah, you need a bat. That's
more
exactly
than the
right.
defense, which is what makes Kiermaier so valuable.
And the Cubbies need pitching. We know that. I mean, it's amazing that how obvious it is for both of these teams. If the Cardinals could get Stanton and answer that question for the next 6-7 years, that'd be awesome.
Who trades for Quintana? Because don't you feel it's going to happen?
Do you think? Does Houston need him?
I think they should.
I think it's got to be Milwaukee.
It's either Milwaukee or Houston.
I think the White Sox have set themselves up because of a Milwaukee, because of a Colorado.
Yeah.
These teams that are smaller market teams that could really use a guy like that.
Right.
The value of having that contract.
That's a great point.
I think it's driven up the price.
Yeah, they can't just sign the $120 million pitcher.
Right.
That the Cubs, Dodgers, Yankees, etc. can.
That's a great point, man. That'd be interesting.
I think Atlanta's
Milwaukee,
really interesting too.
Or Atlanta. Yeah. Well, they got Matt Adams smoking home runs now, so why not add Quintana?
Yeah.
Why
Matt
not?
Matt Adams so good. Freddie Freeman moved to third base.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And we got rid of him for some dude in Class A ball.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, 359-2255 if you want to weigh in. 359-2255. Thank you, Austin.
No problem.
You talked to Tijon Lucas today. Is he pretty excited about this season?
Yeah, good stuff from Tijon Lucas, who's becoming a leader of this team. Brad Underwood said that today. Michael Finke also taking more of a leadership role. And he said Mark Smith has shown some qualities there, too. But Tijon Lucas was one he raved about, the leadership skills. You'll hear from Tijon. Also, we have Tay's Take at 5:45. Got a bunch of good questions already, but we got more. We got time for more if you want to send them in. 359-2255. You can text any random question for Lon to 217-359-2255, or you can tweet me at JWarnerScout.
Update is next, and then you'll hear from Tijon Lucas. It is the Tay and J Show.
You'd buy Community Credit Union for campus and community.
It's a little
celebrate with 0%, 50,000 bonus points, and 5 times points. The University of Illinois is celebrating 150 years, and the U of I Community Credit Union is getting in on the celebration with this exclusive offer. Now through September 30th, open a new Illini Visa and watch the advantages roll in, like 0%. That's right, 0% on all purchases until May 2018 for qualified applicants. Plus, everyone who opens a new Illini Visa rewards card could earn up to 50,000 bonus points. Use those points to purchase trips, gift cards, electronics, and more. But that's not all. All reward card holders will earn 5 times points on U of I purchases. Apply for your card today at IlliniCard.org. That's IlliniCard.org. Celebrate the University of Illinois and get rewarded, because no one cheers louder for their community than the U of I Community Credit Union.
U of I Community Credit Union for campus and community.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
Normally, the home run derby does nothing for me. Big leaguers hitting 65-mile-an-hour batting practice pitches from 55-year-olds that are often related to them, you can have it. But last night, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. This Aaron Judge phenomenon is unreal, and it's so good for baseball. Dude hit 23 homers in the first round, beating another dude who hit 22, which stands itself as the 5th most in the history of the Derby. Then he made easy work of the other freakish rookie home run hitter, Cody Bellinger, before winning it all against Miguel Sano. Judge hit back-to-back 500-footers last night. One went .513. He's huge, he's fun to watch, and he hits home runs better than anybody in the game, at least so far this season. And while this wasn't exactly the World Series, it's still a legitimately big stage with tons of eyeballs on him, and he performed under pressure. In the finals, with Miguel Sano already putting up a number, Judge had to deliver. And like he has all season, he did. He is the real deal, and he is so good for baseball right now. In 60 seconds, the biggest winner from SEC Media Days so far.
There are 2 things every parent wants when their child goes to college. For their child to do well, and a way to afford it. Now, with Discover Student Loans, parents can have the best of both worlds. Not only do our loans cover up to 100% of school-certified costs with 0 fees, but we'll give them a cash reward for each new student loan if they earn at least a 3.0 GPA or equivalent. That means every A in history or B in math could help them earn a cash reward for good grades. Just one of the many ways we treat you like you'd treat you. Apply now in 15 minutes or less at discoverstudentloans.com. Limitations apply.
Weeds love your garden. They hide near flowers knowing you can't touch them. Now you can with Roundup Weed and Grass Killer with Sure Shot 1 from the Home Depot. A special buy at just $19.97. The protective shield means pinpoint accuracy, so you can target weeds without harming surrounding plants. With Roundup in hand, weeds are in trouble. Roundup Weed and Grass Killer with Sure Shot 1, just $19.97, now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through August 2nd while supplies last, U.S. only.
You may be familiar with the show that is SEC Football Media Days. I say it's a show because, quite frankly, it is for 4 days, and it's where I am this week in Hoover, Alabama. Today is day 2, but day 1 belonged to Butch Jones when it came to making a positive impression, and I did not expect it from the Tennessee head coach. Booger McFarland ripped Tennessee during the morning, said they'd be abysmal. Butch heard about it and was not happy, but when he came to our SEC Network set, where Boog was working with me, he did something he hasn't done in 5 years at Tennessee. He showed his personality. No cliches, no coach speak. He even gave Booger a hilarious high five and reiterated his love of the Boog. Butch Jones often called a cliche machine, but yesterday he wasn't. He showed that he's a likable human, something people needed to see. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 5:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood at 217-367-1105 today. 3-star quarterback Trey Lowe has decided on going to West Virginia. The 6'3" Tennessee quarterback chose West Virginia over Houston, Memphis, and of course the Illini. Illinois only has one quarterback in this class with Karan Taylor. The home run derby last night, and here's how it went down. The first round, Aaron Judge had to overcome a 22-homer round by Justin Bohr. Then Judge hit 23 homers. In the second round, it was a battle of stud rookies. Bellinger hit 12 homers. Then Judge bested him by 1 with 13. The championship was Miguel Sano of the Twins versus the Yankees' Aaron Judge. And Judge won the championship 11-10 over Sano. 9 million people watched the show, and that's up 55% from last year's Home Run Derby. That's according to Forbes magazine. The All-Star Game is tonight, and it is played it's not played for anything besides money. Every player on the winning team gets $20,000. The losing team gets nothing. Home field advantage, like it was, goes to the team with the winning record. Whew.
Breathe.
Yeah. That's a lot of words there.
That sounds like me reading a Busey spot, which is going to happen here in a minute.
The pitching matchup, at least for a couple of innings, is Max Scherzer for the NL and Chris Sale for the AL. The All-Stars for the local teams are for the Cardinals, it's pitcher Carlos Martinez and catcher Yadier Molina. For the Cubs, it's closer Wade Davis. And finally, for the White Sox, it's outfielder Avisail Garcia. And that, my friends, is the Sports Center update.
Good thing it doesn't count anymore. Avi, tear it up.
Well, let's see how I do here. Buying a home can be exhausting, exciting, and satisfying all at the same time. In celebration of American Housing Month in June, Busey Home Mortgage shares helpful and practical tips to simplify the home buying experience. This is what they did. Ask yourself the following questions. What do you want in a home? Create a checklist. How much home can you afford? You can use Busey's How Much Home Can You Afford calculator on Busey.com to find out. That's a great tool. What is your credit score? The higher the credit score, the lower your monthly payments. Get a copy of your credit score report, and ensure your credit is in good order. How much money do you have saved up? Down payments, they're typically 5 to 20% of the price of a home. And how long will you stay? The longer you plan to live someplace, the more it makes sense to buy. Over time, you can build equity in your home. The experts at Busey Home Mortgage will guide you every step of the way. Stop by one of their many convenient locations. Call 1-800-67-BUSEY or visit BuseyMortgage.com to get started today.
So I just snapped.
You did?
Yeah. And it just put, I have no idea how to Snapchat. Needed the interns to teach me, #oldman. And I put the text screen over my face. So that tells you I don't know how to snap.
Right. I'm going to look at it. Is it in your story now?
Yeah, it's in my story.
Yeah, I'm going to look at this.
Because that sends, everybody can see that, right?
Oh, yeah, I've got it. I'm looking at it right now.
See, it's right over my face. I have no idea how to do this. How do I, can I change it?
And then it goes away.
Can I edit a snap?
Look at that look you've got. #oldman.
Can I edit a snap?
I don't think so, because it's gone already. Like, I looked at it twice, and it's gone. Oh no, wait, a story stays. Yeah, I guess.
Can I edit?
You can move it.
Yeah, can I move that thing?
I guess.
I don't know.
Looks like
edit?
you can.
Edit.
Who knows?
How do I move it?
This is fun.
This is good radio.
For you people out there that aren't on Snapchat.
Got it.
You get it?
Moved it. I'm an expert now.
You've already done a story. I haven't done that.
There you go.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Hey, we're going to do Tay's Take coming up later, about 5:45. Get your questions in. Tweet those to Jeremy at @JWarnerScout.
We met with the media today with Brad Underwood. We played a little bit of that earlier today, or a big chunk of that earlier in the show. Also got a chance to talk with Tajon Lucas, the point guard, the sophomore point guard who's taking on a bigger leadership role. He chats about the offseason, what's the biggest change under Underwood, and what he's thought of the freshmen as well. Here's Tajon Lucas.
Workout's been doing good. I think it's week 5 now. New players, new staff, so it's all new things, new system. We all been paying attention to detail, trying to pick it up as fast as we can. Freshmen coming in, they have to learn. We all been learning. We just try to do what the coaches want us to do and just put ourselves in the best of our ability.
Well, what's different in this system, particularly, for you as a point guard?
Different reads for offense, especially. We have different systems, so defensive-wise, we pressure the ball more and more up the line. Our position is different from last year, so even though there's newcomers, freshmen, all of us are basically new. We all got to be able to lock in and try to learn this new system, and it's proven that it can win, so I feel like all of our guys are committed, and we all want to win too, so we just focus in.
What's it like to have an off season since you didn't have one last year?
Man, great. Last year, my first day of contact was the day of practice, so I really didn't have an off season to work on my game. I mean, I could shoot free throws, but hey, I mean, that doesn't help me at all. I mean, just doing that So I was able to work on my athleticism, get stronger, work on my shot, work on free throws, threes, ball handling, all the stuff I couldn't do last year. And I think summer one for optional, that helped me too. Separated me from a lot of guys.
How would you describe just the overall vibe difference? Like, what's the biggest difference in the last couple months since Coach Underwood got here?
I think everyone's buying in. That's what we need a lot. We can't be successful if you don't trust and believe in the coaches, and I think we all believe in Coach Underwood, and it shows that he can win. And I feel like all of us just want to be at the top where he's won. He's been in the NCAA tournament. He's going where he want to go, and I feel like everybody is brought in and wants to be there.
Is it easier to buy in because of the success he's had?
Yes. Of course, you like people that's winners. Coaches like people that's winners. NBA scouts like people that's winners. So that does play a key effect in it. But I feel like the coach staff is a good group of guys. Everybody likes them. You came here to play.
How do you see your role? Coach Underwood came in. He talked about he liked what he saw from you as far as your leadership goes. Is that your role coming into the season this year as the point guard?
Me personally, my goal was to be more vocal, be more of a leader. But as a point guard on the team, you're going to have to be a leader mandatory. It's not even an option. And then everybody just making sure our team is staying together. We got a lot of new guys, new faces. I think like half of our team is new faces. So we just got to be able to click with each other, and somebody has to step up. We would like for everybody to be a leader, but I'll take ownership and try to do the best of my ability.
What are you seeing from the freshmen, particularly the three guards?
They're all doing good, getting better, getting stronger, getting faster. It takes a while. You got to click, different pace. I know even for us, it's a different pace. So I know they're going to have bumps. I had bumps in my freshman year, so we're all here to help them, and hopefully we'll have a good year.
Those three look like they're kind of combo guards, right? Does one of them run the point also?
They all have the capabilities to run the point guard. I wouldn't necessarily strict them on one position or 1, 2, 3. They're all capable of ball handling, but wherever coach has them, because basically our system, you don't need a position. It's either you're on the wing or in a high post, so everybody has to be able to dribble. Everybody has to shoot. That's why you see in our workouts, everybody's working on dribbling and shooting.
How much have you guys actually run anything other than just position drills and the basics?
We do some other stuff. We try to implement as much as we can. They only get a certain amount of hours with us a week, so we try to practice it. And then even in open gym, like me and Bub, we'll try to run some stuff that we run in practice so we can click more often.
So have you done enough team stuff to know how this is going to feel at full speed 5-on-5?
We started to do some 5-on-5 stuff. We just started probably last week, but now it's starting to get better as we got film. We're getting a lot of stuff from the guys upstairs helping us to watch the stuff. Oklahoma State, Stephen F. Austin, so it's doing good.
How do you play with Mark and Trent?
Those both two different kinds of dudes. Trent, he probably more goofy, laughing. Mark sometimes be quiet and sometimes, but he can see him goofy around too.
How about on the court? How's it mesh with you?
They all competitors. We all out there. We competing. Everybody know nobody's spot is safe, so we just out there and want to make each other better. We can't get it better if everybody just playing lackadaisical.
How about physically in the weight room? What kind of advances you think that you and the rest of the guys have made in the offseason?
Definitely significance. I know everybody numbers, vertical numbers, bench press numbers, everybody numbers went up, and that's all to Fletch. I think he's the best in the country at what he does. You can see through all the players, Tracy, coming off all those injuries, being able to play a full season, Bo, Mike Thorne, me, all that stuff. He's just great at what he does. I feel like he can change anybody's body. He's changed coaches' bodies. Coach Ford lost lots of weight, probably. So it's just, he changes everybody.
That's Tijon Lucas, Illini's sophomore point
So I need
guard.
to use him.
Yeah.
That's basically what we're saying.
Dustin Ford, before they got fired, he lost a ton of weight.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was
good for
looking
him.
good.
Good for him, absolutely. I thought that was interesting what Tijon said about mixing in with the other guards. Yep. And, it's basketball. We've all played it. We all understand that there is a little bit of an area of you've got to be comfortable with the other guys, know what they're doing, know where they like to catch and shoot, those kind of things. But it will be interesting to see how quick these guards can merge together with Mark Smith, of course, and Tijon and Trent Frazier and eventually DeMonte Williams. But I love the fact that Tijon just sounds like he almost sounds like a leader already.
Sounds comfortable.
I mean, that was a long year for him last year. When you think about it, it was a weird year.
It shouldn't have been.
Right. Correct. Amen to that.
I'm not right all that often.
No, but
going into the season, I said play Tijon Lucas as much as possible because you're going to need him.
Yep.
And then Tracy had one of the best non-conferences we've ever seen.
Right.
And I was like, well, maybe I was wrong. But no, you needed Tijon Lucas when Big Ten play happened, and he wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
Because you didn't get him ready.
Nope.
So now I think he's confident. At the end of the year, you saw a good Big Ten player. I think he's capable of being a top half Big Ten point guard. I don't think he'll be one of the top point guards in the Big Ten.
Right.
And he's going to have to share the ball a lot with guys like Trent Frazier and Mark Smith. But I don't
think he minds that.
That's the kind of point guard he is.
Absolutely. I don't think he minds that at all of any of them.
And in this system, everybody's going to get their shots.
Yes.
With the pace, there are more shots that will be taken. And I can't wait to see a fun brand of basketball.
Amen.
Because we haven't seen it in a long time here.
I think Illinois fans out there, I've thought this, and I don't know if anybody else is with me, but as Illinois adds Mark Smith and Trent Frazier and a guy like DeMonte Williams, and they go after a guy like Ayo Dosunmu, you sit there and think, all right, who's going to be kind of the one that kind of takes the hit a little bit? I've thought about Tijon. But yet when I look back at what he did last year and the growth that he had, if he continues to grow like that, I'm not sure. It's kind of like a golfer. It's easy to get from 90 down to 80, let's say. It's a lot harder to get from 80 to 76 in terms of, adding and getting better. But it'll be interesting to see his growth if it continues because he showed a lot of defensive pressure that I think this team needs, and I think Brad Underwood will love. And I thought he showed some leadership near the end of the year where you were comfortable having him with the ball in his hands.
In your best lineup might be with Tijon, Trent, and Mark.
Perfect.
There's Mark Smith. I'm saying in the future, Mark Allstork will probably be in that factor this year, but you can do that.
Absolutely,
you can have Kipper at the 4. You might be able to have Allstork at the 4.
I remember a D, Darren, and Luther. I liked that lineup.
And Roger was what? 6'5"?
Yeah. I mean, he was Kipper.
If that.
Yeah.
6'4".
He was Kipper.
Yeah.
I mean, to a degree. Now, those guys were really good.
No, and then you had Nagy, who allowed them all to do that.
Was huge.
Right?
Was huge.
Cleaned up the glass.
And we'll see if that can happen as we go along. All right, it's time to give away a prize.
It is, and we got a good trivia question from Austin Birkeland. This is part of Game Day Spirit's Wheel of Games.
Wheel of Games!
You can visit them on Campus Town on Green Street or on Neo Street. Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini. It is All-Star Game tonight.
Okay.
There have been 5 All-Stars that are former Illini.
Oh!
And the first one to get this at 359-2255, text in.
This is texting, not calling.
217-359-2255. A text message question to 217-359-2255.
I know there's one dude out there that doesn't text.
Again.
And he's like, this stinks.
Again, a text message question. First one to get it, 359-2255. There have been 5 All-Stars in Illini history.
Okay.
Former Illini who have become Major League All-Stars. I'm going to go name 2 of them.
Okay, we're just going to name 2.
Just name 2 of the former Illini who turned into MLB All-Stars.
I like this.
First one to text 217-359-2255 will win a great Zephyr hat.
Yes.
As well as a Fighting Illini baseball shirt. We're giving you 2 prizes in 1.
And if somebody accidentally calls, we're going to have Maddie, our intern, get on there and just start yelling at him.
Yes.
As loud as she can
Because
scream.
she is mean. If there's one thing I've learned about Maddie, it's she's mean.
She is incredibly mean. 359-2255. We have Tay's Take coming up next. If you have a question, you can tweet it. Is that right? Yes, tweet it to Jeremy at J. Warner Scout. You can now Snapchat the question to Jeremy Warner.
At J. Warner Scott. I will give you this.
It will stay up for 10 seconds.
Texters, Scott Spezio is not one of them.
Okay. Or specious.
217-359-2255.
Tay's Take is next. It's the Tay and J Show.
When you hit the brakes in time but the guy behind you doesn't, get it to Gerber. When your teenager puts the dent in Stu Dent Driver, yep, get it to Gerber. Gerber Collision and Glass. Call 877-7-GERBER. Gerber comes highly recommended.
Protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Buyer's inspection with a buyback guarantee and seller's inspection. No surprises before closing. Owned by me, Aaron Allenbaugh, and my wife Kim, and serving all of East Central Illinois. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
Law Enforcement Official of the Month this month is Pete Melankovic, and he's relatively new in the U of I police force. What has been your favorite aspect of your work?
The camaraderie. That's something I missed right away out of the Marine Corps. I got out, and for a year I was like, I'm going to find a nice easy job, nice apple pie life, just enjoy the family time. And then something was missing. And after that year I started getting antsy again. When my daughter brought that up, I was like, all right, this is what I'm missing in my life. Being able to work with those officers, the way we come together and attack things with teamwork. Just the men and women on that department, being part of that brotherhood and sisterhood. Yeah. It's amazing.
And you graduated here.
Graduated from
in
there.
What?
I graduated in sociology.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You have to be able to read people.
Yeah.
So now you can use that.
Yep.
Well, Pete, I'm so glad you came out. Congratulations. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to be here.
Brought to you by SK Exteriors. Their website, callsktoday.com.
If you really want to enjoy life's celebrations, you need to call Rosati's Pizza for their comfortable catering package for 10 for just $92.35. Rosati's will serve you, along with your friends, families, and coworkers, a delicious lunch or dinner for under $100. Feed them all with Italian beef, pasta salad, and garlic bread. It's all about good food at Rosati's. Having a party, picnic, hosting a celebration? Call Rosati's for their comfortable catering package for 10. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana, or call 328-2334.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Hi, I'm Mike Carpenter from the Tay and J Show on ESPN 93.5, and for over 20 years, Simplified Computers has been helping local businesses and nonprofits with their computing and networking needs. Simplified Computers covers everything from servers, network security, cloud-based applications, wireless accessibility, computer support. In short, whatever technical issues your business runs into, the guys at Simplified Computers have seen it, and they can help. Call them at 352-5000. That's 352-5000. Simplified Computers. Simply the best.
Subscribe to the Virginia Theater's 2017-2018 Performing Arts season and strike a mother load of entertainment. This season is huge. See ZZ Top, Celtic Women, and Kansas. Laugh along with Lily Tomlin, Paula Poundstone, and the Second City, and enjoy great kid shows with Shopkins Live, Central High's Mary Poppins, and more. Just pick 4 qualifying shows, and you get perks like discounted tickets and first choice of seats. Become a Virginia Theater season subscriber today. More information at thevirginia.org or call 217-356-9063.
Hey, Sue, check out these sandals. I don't wear sandals. They're so cute.
Dry, cracked feet? Carousel Intensive Foot Repair doesn't just cover. Carousel removes hard, dry skin, then deeply moisturizes and actually repairs. Feet look good so fast you see a visible difference in just one day.
Sue, you look great in these sandals. Get them. Yeah.
Carousel Intensive Foot Repair in the foot care aisle. See the one-day difference.
Hey, it's me, your old AC. We need to talk, man. I am out of hair. Trust me, it's not going to get much better. I need to be replaced. Call the experts and get a new air conditioner that will save up to 50% on energy bills. Go ahead, do it. I'll be right here. Whew.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save up to $3,100 on a new home comfort system. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
The 2017 Champaign County Fair returns to the Champaign County Fairgrounds Friday, July 21st through Saturday, July 29th. Enjoy fair food and carnival rides, live music in the beer pavilion, and tons of events at the grandstand. Friday, it's Division II Midget Series Racing. Saturday at the fair, it's Military Day with the Classic and Custom Car and Truck Show and the Demolition Derby at 6 p.m. Family and Agricultural Day takes place Sunday at the fair. And new this year, the IPRA Rodeo presented by Wooten Rodeo Company at the grandstand at 5:30. Monday, it's Livestock Day and the Big Talent Show. Tuesday at the fairgrounds, don't miss harness racing. Wednesday, July 26th at the Champaign County Fairgrounds, the Dick Andre Memorial Race. Thursday, it's 4-H and Youth Day. Then Friday, live music from country stars Chris Young and Drew Baldridge on the Craig's Concrete Stage. Then the fair wraps up Saturday, July 29th with tractor pulls all day long. Kids and families will love Bracelet Day. Unlimited rides on Sunday, July 23rd, Tuesday, July 25th, and Saturday, July 29th. Go to ChampaignCountyFair.cc for more information. That's ChampaignCountyFair.cc. Go to ChampaignCountyFair.cc.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons, 3 to 6, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Muhammad being represented. Jeff and Muhammad, the winner of our game day spirit.
He named 2 of the 5 All-Stars that are former Illini. Lou Boudreau, Darren Futcher.
Okay.
Those are the 2 that came to my head pretty quickly.
Yep.
Ken Holtzman.
Okay.
Hoot Evers.
Oh, Hoot.
He was a hoot. And Tom Haller.
I've never heard of those last 2.
That's why I went with 2.
Yeah.
Because I figured people would get Boudreau.
Yeah.
Fletcher and Holtzman, people might have a chance.
I agree with you, but that's interesting. So congratulations, Jeff and Muhammad. It is now time for some 80s music.
What you feeling, huh? What's on your mind, huh?
I think I have too much information stored in my brain. It's an interesting theory.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual. Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
It is Taste Take, brought to you by DP Dough. Visit them online at dpdough.com, the original Calzone company, serving you late night as well.
Okay.
What would you want to try, Lon? The Calzone. Let's go with the Maui Wowie Zone.
Oh.
Pineapple, ham, mozzarella.
I'm in.
You can see the entire menu.
I like
DP
all
Dough.
3 of those ingredients. I'm not sure pineapple and mozzarella would taste good together, but maybe it does.
I bet they would.
I bet DP Dough makes it taste good.
I bet they do.
Mozzarella cheese.
All right, so let's get to the questions. We got some good ones today.
Okay.
Thomas, would you rather have Brad Underwood as president or Frank Underwood as Illinois basketball coach?
Okay, now, you were explaining to me, I've never seen House of Cards.
Frank Underwood starts off as a House of Representative.
Oh, okay.
He eventually makes his way up to the highest office.
I would rather, I think Brad Underwood would be a solid president. I honestly do.
I'm going with Frank Underwood as Illinois basketball coach because he's cutthroat.
Oh.
I think he'd cheat to get players.
He's kind of like
he would win.
Okay.
He wins at all costs.
Okay. See, now I'd rather you answer that question. I've never seen House of Cards.
He might murder people.
Oh, well, hey. Listen, if you don't, okay, guys, here's what we're doing out of this timeout. You're going to take the ball right side, kick it middle. You've got a 10-foot jumper. If you don't make it, you're probably going to be dead.
Yeah.
All right. All right, break. That's terrible.
All right, Brad from the Champagne Room. In honor of the John Deere Classic, who do you think has a better chance of making the cut, Nick Hardy or Dylan Meyer?
Oh, I like those kids. I'm going Nick Hardy.
Ooh.
I'm going Nick Hardy on this
one. You
one.
pick your guy. I'm taking
you're taking
the bespectacled one. Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling that Nick is going to go out and play really good.
Yeah.
Really well.
All right. Illini Mo.
Okay.
From another Arizona Cardinals fan. Who in the heck is going to be our future quarterback?
Oh, that's a great question. I have no idea.
Drew Stanton.
No. Blaine Gabbert, who's now on your roster. This is going to be an issue for the Cardinals. If you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, enjoy this year. Because I don't know what's going to happen.
I thought you were going to enjoy last year.
Well, that was bad. But really, I don't know what you do.
Trevor Knight?
No, I don't know who you'd...
Somebody you draft next year.
Here's what I hope.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, I wanted them to draft him in the second round, and guess what they didn't do? Here's where I hoped, even though Indianapolis smartly has re-signed him to a big contract.
Yeah.
I thought maybe with Andrew Luck coming available, like being a free agent eventually, and he and Bruce Arians work together, I thought, oh, come on, go get him. But obviously Indianapolis signed him, so I have no idea.
All right, I want to get this one out quick. They said favorite and least. This is from Jake.
Okay.
Cardinals and Illini moment. I'm going to go with your least. What is your least favorite Cardinals and least favorite Illini
I'll do this quick, though, on the favorite.
Yeah.
It's this. I had tickets to the Final Four and the Arizona game, of course, which is everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
is you're an Illini fan, that's your favorite. But I had tickets to the Final Four. So winning that game meant that I got to go watch the Illini in the Final Four. And I had tickets to Game 7 of the World Series in 11 when they won Game 6 with David Freese. Those are two of the coolest moments that have ever happened for Illinois and the Cardinals, and they benefited me so greatly because
you went to Game 7.
I had tickets to both of the next games. My least favorite Illini and Cardinal moment. My least favorite Cardinal moment, honestly, is the blown call by Don Dinkinger. Because how often do you get a chance to win a World Series? And that would be 12 for the Cardinals.
And your Lemonnier? Was that maybe?
Oh, yes, without a doubt.
Another referee?
All right,
last one.
Okay.
From Brett. What is a good Illini-themed dog name?
Good Illini-themed dog name. How about Butkus for a bulldog?
I like it.
That would make sense. How about Raj?
You want Roger Powell.
Roger Powell.
Somebody said Chief.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. That'd be a great.
You're not going Lou?
No, that'd be kind of boring. D, kind of boring. You said Chukadebe. Now, that'd be a hard one, Chukadebe, let's go. That'd be a hard one to get out.
You can go random. Just go with a random name.
Just do like...
Think of the... Dimitri!
Krupalia.
Mike Davis!
Hey, Krupp. You know me. I would lessen everything. Come on, Krupp.
All right, that's our show.
It's my dog named Krupp.
Thanks to our interns today, Austin Burkle, Maddie Bunton, and Jacob Diaz. Thanks to Joe Hendrickson, City Suburban Hoops Report. Go podcast that, as always.
Yes.
If you missed any of the show, get our podcast at espncu.com or find us on iTunes.
All right, we will see everybody tomorrow. I may be gone again.
All right, do what you gotta do. I'll be here.
Thanks a lot, Andrew. Back to Taylorville I come.
Talk about something. There's no sports.
It's the Tay and J Show.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals. A nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
Your four-legged friends need protection too. Pet insurance from Pekin Insurance covers cats and dogs at least 6 weeks of age or older as an enhancement to your homeowner's coverage. Choose between $2,500 or $5,000 worth of coverage for a variety of pet health services. You can even take your pet to the veterinarian of your choice. Learn more at PekinInsurance.com or ask your local agent about how to protect your furry family members. For pet insurance that is beyond the expected, contact Pekin Insurance today.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
You've heard me doing my hobby. Roll 'em up! Warner Wrap, go! I also have a real job as co-owner of 2 insurance agencies with more than 50 years of service to Central Illinois. Hey, it's Lon Tay, and I'm excited to do business with you. For a free business, auto, home, or life insurance quote, call me at 832-2411. Partnering with Pekin Insurance, you're guaranteed to receive a competitive quote. Going beyond the expected with Pekin Insurance and the Hillard Agency. Call 832-2411.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.